Jabari. No, 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 no.
Delaware State University Hornet football back through your airways again for WDSU-TV. I am Byron Dixon, and we are here for today's home finale, Senior Day, as the Delaware State University Hornets welcome the reigning Celebration Bowl and MEAC champion North Carolina A&T Aggies here at Alumni Stadium. I'm joined alongside Chris Moore. We'll get to Chris in a second, but today's game wraps up the 2016 home schedule against MEAC co-leader, National Black College #1 North Carolina A&T. Aggies are tied with North Carolina Central for first place in the league with 6-0 identical records. The Hornets are coming off a 38-19 loss to North Carolina Central last weekend. DSU only trailed 9-7 after an early second quarter touchdown. 29 unanswered points to fall behind 38-7. Some highlights from the game. Hornets wide receiver Eric Scott had the best game of his season. 5 catches, season high 128 yards, and 2 touchdowns. He's moved into the team lead with 4 touchdown receptions this season. Defensively, freshman linebacker Brian Cavante led all players with 13 tackles, 10 solo, tying his career high. Senior quarterback Gilbert Rivera started his first game of the season last week, going 13 for 21 for 180 and a touchdown. Well, about North Carolina A&T, they're the defending Black College and Celebration Bowl champs, coming to this game 8-1, 6-0, and seeking to win the MEAC title outright after sharing the crown in each of the last 2 years. And North Carolina A&T is ranked 9th in the ESPN FCS Coaches Poll, 10th in Scouts Inc. Well, Chris, we're not going to waste any time here. I'm going to come to you. Before we get to your keys to the game, what are you looking at the outlook? Delaware State without a win this year. What do you tell your team if you're Coach Carter coming into the home finale? 2 games left, trying to get at least 1 win.
Yeah, well, they haven't won a season without winning a home game since 1998, and here they are, like you said, last home game of the season, and probably the toughest one against the defending MEAC champions, defending HBCU national champions, defending Celebration Bowl champions. So they're in for a tough one today, and they're going to have to battle. But you know, we've talked about it a lot. We've seen glimpses of real potential in this football team. I talked to you before the game today. Last week against NCCU, I saw maybe the best drive of the season by Delaware State on this field. 6-yard pass, 8-yard pass, play action 20-yard pass, 4 or 5-yard run with Bryson Aline, Mike Waters. We've seen this team go on the run against Monmouth, down 27-0, scored 20 unanswered points. This team has boatloads of potential. It's a matter of putting it together for 4 quarters of play, and I think that's what Coach Carter has to be stressing here again today, the last game that our seniors will play at Alumni Stadium. Some of the best players on the team, too. Gary Melton, arguably the best player in the secondary. Gil Rivera, a guy who started some games at quarterback this season. Eric Scott, as you talked about, a leading receiver on the team. So they're losing some key pieces, but we know that Coach Carter's really kind of changed the culture. They've got several freshmen on the roster, and I think he's just getting started building what he wants to build here at Delaware State University. And, so I think the future is what we're looking for, but for these seniors today and next week against Howard is the only future that they have. So if you're Coach Carter, I think it's maybe a win one for the Gipper kind of deal, but for our 6 seniors, send them out the right way, the way we want to, with a win. And it would be a big win to beat North Carolina A&T, as we talked about, arguably the best team in the conference. And they've got a battle next week with North Carolina Central. So we're going to find out who the best team in our conference is. Of course, we played NC Central last week. But, yeah, no doubt about it, Delaware State's got a tough one today. But like I said, if you're Coach Carter, you just you try and preach for this one, win one for your seniors, come out play inspired. And, crazier things have happened than Delaware State beat North Carolina A&T. So they're going to get down to it for 60 minutes, and we'll see what happens.
Well, Chris, you talked about a week of upsets in the political arena and maybe on the football field here today. Quickly about the seniors as you see them at the 40-yard line. You have Gary Melton, fine defensive back. Eric Scott, one of the better receivers we've seen. Nick Nelson, Rashawn Barrett, who's been great on the defensive end. Ernest Mangoni, and Gilbert Rivera, who's been a journeyman quarterback who started and helped the Hornets on offense. Chris, 6 seniors, but 48 freshmen. The future is bright. And speaking of the future, this game's coming up. Keys to the game today.
Keys to the game. First one, key to the game, win on first down for Delaware State. We see this team go 3 and out pretty frequently, and what happens is they lose on first down, get no gain, 1 or 2 yards, or maybe even lose yards. So Delaware State on offense and defense has to win on first down, get themselves in position to succeed on offense and defense. If you can do that, you give yourself an opportunity. Key to the game number 2, keep the game close. North Carolina A&T in their past 5 games have not had a single-digit game yet. Their closest was a 30-20 win last week against South Carolina State. So North Carolina A&T has not been in too many close competitions as of late. If they can go into the fourth quarter within single digits, you might be able to get to North Carolina A&T. They're expecting a blowout. NCA&T expects to win this football game. If you can take it to the fourth quarter with a close game, you might be able to rattle them, get underneath their skin a little bit, and pull off an upset. And the last one, a young man we haven't talked about yet, Tariq Cohen, senior,
we'll talk
the
about him a lot.
all-time MEAC leader in rushing yards and second in the history of college football in HBCUs. Tariq Cohen is in rushing yards. So he is a monster just at 5'6", 176 pounds. He plays every bit of it and more. He's quick, catch out of the backfield. He does everything. And so I look at Malik Williams today to be maybe the biggest key to the game for Delaware State. Probably the best defender on this football team and certainly the best linebacker. He was a second team preseason All-MEAC selection. I talked about him a lot last week, and he's going to have to step up and play maybe his best game of the season today. They've got to contain Tariq Cohen. Cohen's won 6 MEAC Offensive Player of the Weeks this season, and he's obviously looking to make it 7 today. And I think Malik Williams is going to be the biggest key for Delaware State to slow him down. If they can do that, they'll have a chance.
Well, Tariq Cohen, you think of the word impact player, kind of the definition. He embodies that. He lives by it. We've gotten a chance to see a guy who's went to the next level and played Rodney Gunter here at DSU. And Tariq Cohen, senior, he definitely has potential to possibly play at the next level. I know there'll be questions about his size, but sit back, relax. If you haven't seen him play, you'll get to see him today.
Yeah, absolutely. He's got the skills to play at the next level. And we've seen guys, I'm a Philadelphia Eagles fan. Darren Sproles has made a living. Darren Sproles is now in the top 10 all-time of all-purpose yards in the National Football League. So you can be undersized and make it in the NFL. Tariq Cohen, I think, is a guy that's going to get a chance somewhere. We'll probably see him at the Combine and at the Senior Bowl maybe. We'll see what happens with him. But I certainly think if you put this young man on the field, give him an opportunity, he can do a multitude of things in the backfield. I think he could be he would have a chance to be a very good punt and kick returner. I think your size, being a smaller guy, helps at those positions because you can hide. You can hide behind an offensive line. That's one of the things Tariq's so good at here at this level. And if he goes on to the next level, the offensive linemen are bigger, wider, and stronger. Even easier for him to hide. So at 5'6", I don't think will be his problem. 173 pounds, though, is what we have him listed at. He will have to bulk up a little bit, get up closer to 200 pounds just to be able to take the beating of an NFL Sunday. But certainly a guy with the skills to do it, just a matter of getting an opportunity. But, again, he's still got a couple of college games left, and he wants to go out as back-to-back Celebration Bowl champion, of course, playing for a top 10 team in FCS play. So Tariq Cohen's certainly going to be focused on today. But you said it. Sit back and watch this young man play if you haven't yet, because he's a special talent.
Well, today's temperature, fall beginning to take shape as we're in the November months. 40 degrees here, a little bit of wind. Definitely, let's see if that plays a factor as we get ready for the coin toss. But North Carolina A&T there, led by Coach Rod Broadway. Broadway in his 6th season at A&T holds a 46-20 record. That's a 69% win percentage. Broadway also spent 4 seasons at North Carolina Central and 4 seasons at Grambling and has an overall record of 114 and 43-1 back. A black college national title each of those schools. And ever since 2012, the Hornets were 6-5, but ever since then they're 8-35, including that time, including losing 24 out of the last 25, giving up over 40 a game and over 472.8 per game. But bright spot about the Hornets offense, Elaine and freshman Mike Waters, they're going to be here for the next few years. Dynamic duo in the backfield.
Absolutely, and they really do bring that power speed combination, and they are great at it. Mike Waters, a physical guy that can certainly be an every down back and pound his way into the line of scrimmage, pick up the tough yardage. And Bryson Aline is a home run hitter. He can get out of the backfield. He's an all-purpose guy who does punt and kick returns, or excuse me, just kick returns for Delaware State. But Bryson Aline is a home run hitter. He will make plays out of the backfield, catching and running the football. So Bryson Aline, certainly a guy we're going to look at, and he needs to contribute in a big way for Delaware State to win. And Mike Waters, he needs to be physical as well, needs to wear this NC-A&T defense out. As you said, North Carolina A&T, under their coach, has been one of the great defenses, not just in the MEAC, but in all of FCS play. They've had a great defense every year since he's been here. This year's no exception, and they're bringing that great defense here today. One thing I wanted to point out, we weren't sure who the quarterback was going to be. We talked to people, they wouldn't let us know. But Daniel Epperson's got a headset on. That tells me, I believe, that number 3, Gil Rivera, the senior, will get the start at quarterback. But
On
we're going to
senior
find
day.
out. Yeah, on senior day. It's very fitting.
Very fitting way to
Another
go
thing
out.
I wanted to touch on real quick, you pointed it out, the weather. We've had a lot of, the warm has been lasting a lot longer nowadays. So North Carolina, obviously a little further south, it's a little warmer there. This is probably colder than anything they're used to right now. Take advantage of it. Again, this is the kind of game you keep it close, make them play a game that they don't want to play. And obviously Tariq Cohen, a big-time running back, I don't know if you pointed it out, he hasn't fumbled in over 2 years, or almost 2 years, November 22nd. So they can play that style of game, but I think if you're Delaware State, you got to match them pound for pound, take advantage of this weather. You're a little more adapt to it than they are. You got to take every advantage you can get when you're taking on this kind of football team, and Delaware State's going to need to do that.
Well, North Carolina A&T won the toss, ladies and gentlemen. They'll be kicking right to left on your TV screens and your radio dials. They elected to defer. So we'll get to see Rivera in the offense first on senior day. Matchup-wise, this is the 45th contest between the Hornets and the Aggies. North Carolina A&T has won the last 2, although DSU holds a 22-21 with a 1-tie lead in the series. And last year, the Aggies won 27-6 in North Carolina. And Tariq Cohen with 132 yards, and the defense held DSU to just 174. So Hornets forced 2 turnovers. Let's see what happens today. It's game time, and we're here with you along with Chris Moore. I'm Byron Dixon on WDSU-TV. Cody Jones set to kick it off for the Aggies, and it's game time, folks. Sit back, relax. We got Hornet football for you. It's going to be taken in by Elaine. He's going to get out to about the 20, and that's going to be where the Hornets will set up shop, Chris. And Gilbert Rivera, your guy, he's going to start.
Gil Rivera is certainly the more pocket passer of this team. We've seen Kobe Lane at times. We've seen Daniel Epperson, the athletic guys, as we get a look at the Delaware State University offense. But Gil Rivera is certainly going to be a key for the Delaware State University Hornets, as is Bryson Aline. And on the offensive line, very young, just one senior, Ernest Mangani, the center, the only senior on the offensive line.
Rivera in the gun. He's going to fake it. They're going to go play action first. He's looking deep, has Eric Scott wide open at the 40. Makes a man miss, gets inside the 40, close to the 45, and great play call, as you talked about, on first down.
Senior to senior, they run the play action. We see them a lot run on first down. Bryson Aline, a big-time threat. They make the play action, senior to senior, to open up the game on senior day. Eric Scott getting great separation, and Rivera finds him.
Ball spotted at the 44, and it'll be a first down for the Hornets. Rivera will give it to Elaine. Let's see if he hits a home run, gets past the 50, and that's a big gain of about 9 on first down. And Chris, your key already sticking out in the first 2 plays.
Absolutely. First down is going to be a key. Now you got 2nd and 1. Now you can do a lot of things. You can play action, throw it deep, which we've already seen, or run and pick up the first down.
Hornets using a little tempo here. It'll be 2nd and 1. Let's see what they do here. Elaine may get it again. He does. Runs left, sneaks in, and that Elaine body allows him to get in. And looks like they're going to spot that at a first down, and they're going to move the chains, Chris.
Great patience there by Bryson Aline. Was in a hole immediately. Sat back, followed his offensive lineman, snuck through the hole. Only a 2-yard gain, but it's a new set of downs for the Hornets, and we see this tempo continue.
Great job there by Elaine. And the tempo is moving. Ball to 45, just underway here, quarter number 1. So it'll be a fake. Rivera will keep it, and a gain of about 5. Not a bad play there. Wisely kept it.
Yeah, read option, just showing a different look. to North Carolina A&T. Rivera, we don't see him take off and run too much, but there again, keeping the defense honest. We see it a lot. You talk about Chip Kelly running the read option. Even if you don't have a running quarterback, just something to keep the other team honest. This way that end doesn't bite down hard to take after the running back. Rivera does a good job there keeping the defense honest.
2nd and 5 at the 40. And it's going to be a handoff. It's going to be upended. It's going to be Waters, the second back. Thunder, lightning. That's a little bit of thunder there. He gets to the 25, and that's going to be another first down, Chris.
And there you see a little bit of what you see at Auburn, sending him in motion. Rutherford flashes across the screen, a little bit of eye candy for the defense. Don't know where to go. Send Waters the other way, and he's got a big hole for a first down.
So the ball will be spotted at the 25 after the big-time run by Mike Waters, part of that dynamic duo in the backfield. It's going to go to Waters again. He's going to try to reverse field, and he's going to lose a big gain there. But we'll get a look here at the starters on offense for the Hornets. At O-line, you talked about the senior, Mangoni, one of the only seniors.
Absolutely, the only senior on the offensive line. 2 freshmen on the left side protecting Gil Rivera's blind side, and then you have 2 sophomores on the right side. So this young offensive line going to be up to the task today against North Carolina A&T. That play, not great communication there on the exchange between Rivera and Waters, and that resulted in Waters getting started slow and a loss of about 5.
Loss of 4, they call it. Ball at the 29. Rivera back to throw and thrown behind Eric Scott. And looking at the backs and receivers, saw Eric Scott earlier, Elaine and Waters. Got some skill players.
Absolutely, and you can throw Mason Rutherford and Fatu Suagadanette in there as well. He's another big-time receiver for the Hornets. They like him as a big play threat. So this offense certainly has the weapons to operate in the backs and receivers. It's just a matter of putting it all together.
So it'll be 3rd and long, something the Hornets want to stay away with. Let's see if the Aggies bring pressure. Looking at their defense, led by D'Angelo Kias, his brother, Denzel Kias, plays wide receiver. Let's see that dynamic.
And you don't need a first down here. Just pick up some yards, get in field goal range.
So it's going to be a short throw. Goes to Rutherford, breaks the tackle, has room, gets outside, and it's going to be about 2 yards short of a first down, about maybe a yard, depending on where they spot it. But not getting a first down, but not a bad play.
But I think they're going to go for it now. They certainly got the personnel on the field to go for it. Bryce and Aline in the backfield, but I think they were just looking for a couple of yards to get in field goal range, and Mason Rutherford showing his explosiveness. Getting them, it looks like they're going to be about 4th and 2.
They'll call it 4th and 2 at the 17, so not a bad play on 3rd and 14, picking up 12. Eric Scott bottom of your screen. We got some guys, looks like they jumped off sides. Let's see what's going to happen. A big hit taken by Elaine, but we got some laundry on the field, folks.
Absolutely. A lot of guys jumped up front for North Carolina A&T. Ernest didn't snap it right away, but it looks like there's the call.
So it looks like an offsides call on Kashawn Baker.
But I like the aggressiveness there from Coach Carter. Knows what this game means to his football team and to these fans. Like we said, have not won or gone a season without winning a game here since 1998. He knows this is an important game. I like the aggressiveness, sending a message, we're here to win.
So that'll be a 1st and 10. They can get a first down inside the 5 at about the 3. That's going to be a fake and a throw to an open man for a touchdown. What an opening drive for the Hornets. Great job there on a play. Wide open, Chris.
Isaiah Williams, the freshman tight end. We talked a little bit before the game. I really like this young man. He's an athletic, big kid that has good hands. And there you saw it. More eye candy for the defense. Rutherford goes in motion again. Then they throw in more eye candy with the play action. Williams slips behind the defense, wide open. Great, great first drive called there by Coach Carter and the Hornet offense.
And Nazidi's extra point is up and good. So it'll be a 7-0 lead, 11:08 remaining quarter number 1. And Chris, walk us through that drive. Saw a lot, but a lot of efficiency.
Aggressiveness was the key to that drive. Opening play, they go play action to Bryson Aline. Eric Scott creates great separation, gets wide open. Rivera hits him. Then they go to the ground a little bit. Rivera on the read option goes around. And then 3rd and 15, a little bit less aggressive, but Rutherford makes the catch, shows his explosiveness, gets through to make it 4th and 2, and Coach Carter changed the mindset, went for it there on 4th and 2, and they drew North Carolina A&T offsides. And then the very next play, as I said, great play design, some eye candy with Rutherford going in motion. Then the play action, A&T bit Isaiah Williams wide open behind the defense. So great execution there by everybody on the Delaware State team. Offensive line was great. Rivera was accurate. The running game was strong, and Coach Carter called an excellent first drive. Hornets defense now got a feed off of it as we get ready for the young man, Tariq Cohen, to head out onto the field.
9 plays, 80 yards, 352. So talk about starting fast and starting early. Couldn't ask for a better start. If you're a Hornets fan, if you're Coach Carter, offensive line, you give everybody some credit there. But now the fun begins. You get to see Tariq Cohen. And keep an eye on Lamar Raynard as well. Pretty good redshirt sophomore. He gets it going, 6'4", great size.
Absolutely. Him and Tariq Cohen, a very dangerous combination. I don't know, though, if you're Coach Carter, you could have drawn it up any better to open up the game, going 9 plays, 80 yards in almost 4 minutes. But again, now here comes the battle. And again, number 24, Malik Harris is the man to look out for. He's going to have to be on his game today, keeping all eyes. You're going to need 11 sets of eyes on number 28 for North Carolina A&T.
You may need 12 or 13 someplace. Nazidi's kick is deep. It's going to be taken at about the 20. It's going to bounce and might go out of bounds, but unwisely taken in. Looks like it was taken in by Markel Cartwright. Chris, why do you grab that ball there?
I could not tell you. Fortunate break for the Hornets. Sometimes you just lose a little bit of focus, and you lose where you're at. And also, though, in fairness, if that ball does happen to take a weird bounce, doesn't go out of bounds, the Hornets can recover it. So, and he put himself in a tough spot by not going to catch it in the first place. Somebody's got to catch that ball in the air. Otherwise, it's going to take plenty of weird hops on you.
Great point here, and here comes Cohen, ladies and gentlemen. It'll be a throw, and it's a new quarterback in the game. Looks like Bomero will be in playing quarterback today. Looks like Bomero's going to get the start, and, of course, Cohen beside him. But looking at the offensive line of the Aggies, only one senior.
Yeah, Bomero, the senior for NCA&T, a senior quarterback. And I did notice in warm-ups, Raynard wasn't getting a lot of tosses as NCA&T goes with a short run here. But I did notice Raynard wasn't taking any throws in the pregame. I don't know if there's an injury that we don't know about or what the case may be. We weren't told anything about an injury, but certainly curious if something's going on. Like I said, didn't see Raynard at all take any throws in the pregame. And now we've got a new quarterback look for NCA&T to open up the game.
So it'll be 3rd and 3, 3rd and short. Let's see if the Hornet defense can get off the field here. 10:25 remaining in quarter number 1. Ball on a 16. New quarterback in, as we said, but it'll be the same old Tariq Cohen. Let's see if he gets the ball here.
This would be a big stop for the Hornets on 3rd down.
It's going to be a fake. He's looking to throw. That's going to be a tough pass to complete, and it's going to be out of bounds. And great defense on the play.
Kawan Selby on the coverage there. Great man-to-man coverage, was all over him. I like the aggressiveness from North Carolina A&T, showing confidence in the backup quarterback. You get man-to-man coverage, but a poor throw there out of bounds didn't really give his receiver a chance. And, again, good coverage by Selby to force the tough throw. But the Hornets go down the field, now a 3 and out. And now you're looking pretty good here early on.
Garrett Nestor in to punt. So let's see what happens with the Hornets. They come, almost get to it. It's going to be taken in by Rutherford Hill. Fair catch. So Hornets get the ball right back, Chris, and have decent field position.
Absolutely. I was just about to say that this first couple of drives has gone great for Delaware State. One of the keys to the game we talked about, win on 1st down. That drive, an incomplete pass forced on 1st down. And then on offense, they did a great job in their first drive on 1st down. So a lot of things going well for the Hornets. This team looks prepared. This is the best they've looked in a first quarter yet at Alumni Stadium this season. And they're going to need to keep it up, though. This is not a team you can fall asleep on. This team, you have to bring it for 4 quarters of action if you're going to win this football game.
Well, the Hornets will get the ball at the 46, not too far from midfield. And Hornets, they're 0-9, 0-6 in the MEAC, folks. They have really not much else to play for. They want to win a game, and at this point, you have to do whatever it takes, Chris.
Absolutely, and taking a look at that NCAA defense, loaded with experienced guys, plenty of juniors, plenty of seniors on the D-line. Angelo Keys, you talked about, brother of the wide receiver on this football team. He's a senior. Marquise Ragland on the defensive line. He's a senior. Plenty of experience in the back end as well for this football team. Hornets going to have to take advantage of an experienced group in NCAA&T's defense.
So that'd be 1st and 10 at the 46. Rivera in the game. 3 receivers to his right. A lane in the backfield. A lane's going to get it, run left, and fight to get back, but it looks like a loss of about 1.
And that's what happens. You've got freshmen on that left side. Hornets run left, and they get blown up. A lane, nowhere to go. Good job to even only lose 2 yards there. But Hornets, that's more of what we've seen out of this football team this season on first down, and those are the things they have to avoid, especially against a good team like NCAA&T.
2nd and 12, ball to 44, 9:30 remaining quarter 1. Harris got top of your screen. Rivera looks to the line. Rivera gets the snap, drops, looking, steps up. He's going to run, has room, tripped up, gets inside to about the 49, and good job there by Rivera, not forcing the throw, stepping up and deciding to run with it.
Yeah, had Godinette and Rutherford to his right, looked in that direction for one of them, and neither was open. Rivera tucked it, saw a hole, and went after it. And NCAA&T was daring the Hornets to throw. Just one safety over the top. Rivera's going to have to beat a lot of one safety coverage today.
So we'll get 3rd down here. They'll call it 3rd and 7 at the 49 for Rivera at 6'3", 230. Pretty decent size at the quarterback position. Let's see if the Aggies bring pressure here. They will. It's taken well, and it's going to be an interception and not a great throw, but we're going to have a flag on the play, so hold your horses. But looks like for the moment, Jeremy Taylor, the linebacker, with the interception.
That was pass interference down here on Marquise Willis. He shoved Eric Scott out of bounds. Probably was going to be intercepted anyway, but Scott had no chance to get over there to even defend it. That should be a pass interference call against NCAA&T.
And you're right, Chris. And some days, things just go your way, Chris. And early on, looks like some things may be going the Hornets' way.
That was a very poor throw from Gil Rivera. Completely, that was an underthrow. Was looking there the whole way. The safety was able to read it, come over, shade that way, and then jump in front of the pass. If you're Rivera, if you're going to do that, you gotta use some eye manipulation. Look left and then come back right.
1st and 10 after the 15 yards. Ball good to the 36.
Can't stare down receivers. Rivera did that there and put the ball in harm's way.
8 minutes in quarter number 1 remaining. It's 7-0 for the Hornets. Great opening drive. They're driving again. Fake. It's going to be a throw to Rutherford. Rutherford has room, has a blocker ahead, and he's going to get inside the 30 to about 28. So a good play call there.
Absolutely, a great read there. 2 guys left for North Carolina A&T versus 3 guys left for Delaware State. Put hat on a hat with a blocker, and then you've got Rutherford running free, and they're able to get a good first down play, and now moving well into NCAA&T territory.
So it'll be 2nd and 2 at the 28-yard line, and the Hornets are driving again in plus territory. Rivera fakes it, gets the guy in the air, and he's going to wisely throw it away, but he had a man open. If he just had a little bit more time.
Yeah, just a little bit more time. Isaiah Williams had gotten free and was open with nobody in front. Might have been able to score the touchdown, but Rivera had to get rid of it. Good decision there to throw it away, not putting the ball in harm's way like he did last week, end of the first half. Threw it over the middle while being sacked, just blindly threw it over the middle, was returned for a pick 6.
So it'll be 3rd and 2. Let's see if the Hornets can convert here, extend his drive, keep that clock moving. It's going to be a handoff to a lane, and he's going to be dropped for a big loss. Stopped on the play, Marcus Albert, instinctive linebacker, ends the drive. Looks like for the moment, but looks like the Hornets may stay on the field.
Albert, the beneficiary there of some great penetration by the NCAA&T defensive line, blew up that play from the get. The Hornet offensive line has to play better in this football, or in so far, because in the running game, they've struggled. They had a couple of big runs early in the game, but since then, plenty of plays blown up.
So looks like we're going to get a 52-yard attempt if they do kick it from Nazidi. And looks like Epperson is going to hold it. So let's see what happens. And back deep for the Aggies, they got Zarius Lockhart. It's a fake. And it's a fumble for the moment and recovered by the Aggies. Marquise Willis. Kind of wonder why they faked it there, Chris.
Oh, well, Nazidi's got a big leg, but I think 52 yards, he's a freshman, 52 yards, probably a little bit much to ask for. And so A&T, it looked like the play had potential, but A&T was able to get over and get out there. And Epperson maybe a little bit late with the pitch. Nazidi took the hit, couldn't hang on to it, and that results in the fumble. I probably would have punted there. You're up 7-0. Defense showed some potential on that first drive. You could punt it, pin them deep. And again, up 7-0. You don't have to play that aggressive now. You've got the lead. You've set the tone. I would have liked to have seen them punt there, and and pin North Carolina A&T back.
So now it's going to be a first and hit the 41 for the Aggies. And like you said, Chris, just don't want anything to set you back and kind of halt your momentum. It's like the crowd's in the game. You want to keep them around long as possible. But it'll be first and 10 for the Aggies. And talked about backs and receivers of A&T and quarterback. They have a lot of skill players, but Tariq Cohen didn't really one carry on the drive so far. So let's keep a watch on how much they try to use him and if he can be contained. Malik Harris, see what they can do on defense.
Yeah, that one carry thing probably isn't going to last. I would be willing to bet we're going to get a heavy dose of Tariq Cohen on this drive.
Man can dream, Chris. A man can dream. But it'll be first and 10 for the Aggies. And, Chris, you get your wish. It's going to be Cohen, cuts back, gets inside the 40, past the 50. He's quick as a hiccup. He's going to the 30. He's got speed to the 20, 10, 5. He's going to scoot and has reservations for 6, Chris. And looks like the beast has been awoken just like that.
Wow.
Talk about game-breaking ability. I'm out of words to use.
Wow. Tariq Cohen there, one cut. And you have to be disciplined against a running back like Tariq Cohen. He will find any hole, any cutback lane. You have to be disciplined in your lanes. You see the Delaware State defensive line was not there, left Cohen the cutback lane, and he exploded and ran by the Delaware State secondary. And just like that, a tie game.
And Alumni Stadium is quiet, just like that. But, wow, we'll get the extra point attempt here from Cody Jones, the senior himself. Kick is up, and it looks like it is good. And things like you look back at this game, the fake field goal kind of shifts the momentum, gives A&T the ball in plus territory, and a great touchdown run by Cohen.
Yeah, just like that. You're up 7-0. Things are going your way, and you have an opportunity, if nothing else, to pin the Aggies deep. Instead, you go for a fake field goal and was 4th and long. If you had maybe 4th and 7, 4th and 6, I could see it. You can pick that up with a backup quarterback and a kicker. You're not going to pick up 12, 13, 14 yards on a fake field goal. It's just not going to happen. So I didn't like the play call, as I said. Would have liked to have seen them punt. Then you give Tariq Cohen the ball, defensive line not disciplined in their gap assignments, and Cohen cuts it back and leaves the defense in the dust. That is not a good sign now for Delaware State that young man was able to do that on just his second carry of the game. But it might have been a rude awakening for them. We have to be disciplined. We have to be sound. You can give up 3 or 4 yards. You can't give that up.
59 yards, to be exact. In 10 seconds, by the way.
He's faster than I am, Byron. I can tell you that much.
Both of us combined, man. 7-all, 6:21. We're still in the first quarter, folks. A lot has happened early on. And Elaine will take it in, and he'll run it up. Get to about the 19, and third possession for the Hornets, led by Rivera.
NCA&T, some great special teams coverage on their 2 kickoffs, not giving Bryson Aline much room to run. And as we talked about, he's the home run hitter for this football team. So he is our Tariq Cohen. Now, he's not the all-time leader in MEAC rushing yards, but he's our Tariq Cohen. He's our home run hitter. He's our quick, shifty guy. And the Hornets have to do a better job giving him room. NCA&T doing a good job bottling him up on those kick returns.
So Rivera come out in an empty backfield. That may change. It's going to be a man in motion. It's going to go to him. It's going to be a handoff up the middle. Positive gain on the play. Looks like it was to Mike Waters. So getting him involved.
And that a little bit of a surprise there as we talked about Waters, the more physical back, not a guy you would think you'd go to in the jet sweep, but the Hornets do that, and he bowls forward for about 8 yards. So another productive play on first down. Hornets got to keep that up.
Ball moved to the 28-yard line, and it'll be 2nd and 2. So 2nd and manageable for the Hornets.
And here I'd go right back to Waters. Wear this defense down. Give him the opportunity to go up the gut on this defense.
Well, Rivera will keep it. He's going to throw deep, just out of the outset, stretched arms of Rutherford.
I'm okay with the play call. Not a bad decision there. You've got man-to-man coverage. Rivera a little bit inaccurate there. And NC A&T had good coverage on Rutherford. But now 3rd and 2. Now where do they go? Your playbook is still open.
And A&T looks like they're going to bring a little bit more pressure as Rivera tries to get the play call from the sideline. So 3rd and 2. Big 3rd down here for the Hornets offense. Don't want to give that hot offense and Tariq Cohen another opportunity that quickly.
Watch Marcus Albert over there to Gil Rivera's left.
It'll be an option. Rivera keeps it wisely, and he'll get the first down. So good play call on 3rd down.
And they run away from him. Good play call there. They see the defense. Albert looked like he was coming on the blitz. As I said, to Gil Rivera's left. They run the option away from him and get the favorable matchups. O-line creates a hole. Rivera sees it, hits it, and a first down for Delaware State.
Early on, John Allen taking the handcuffs off his quarterback. Good play call. Rivera fakes it. Got a man. It's going to be caught. Low catch. It's going to be taken in for another first down. And that's a great play there by Godinette, making plays for his quarterback.
Hornets love the screen game. You're gonna see plenty of wide receiver screens whenever they get the matchup for it. You'd like to see a little bit more zip on the ball from Rivera, get it out quicker. But certainly you'll take another first down for Delaware State.
Ball goes to the 45. And there's Waters. Runs left. Breaks off a tackle. Still on his feet, not marked down. And let's see where they spot it, but it's going to be a short gain on first down.
And Mike Waters, one of the very exciting players on this offense, just a freshman, but he is a tough physical back, and he wears you down. He refuses to go down without a fight, and he continues to show that. And I like him as an every down back for the Hornets, mixing in Bryson Aline.
7-0, 2nd and 6. Waters still in the game. Fake to him. Rivera, he's going to be hit, dropped. And looks like Marquise Ragland on the sack, gobbling the quarterback up like Thanksgiving dinner.
Good coverage there by NC A&T, created that sack. Rivera had some time, but couldn't find anybody open, and Ragland was able to beat his man, duck inside and grab hold of Rivera and take him down. Now you're up against it on 3rd and 12.
3rd and long. They'll call it 3rd and 12 at the 43. And let's see what offensive coordinator John Allen dials up on this 3rd down. Doing a pretty good job early on, but let's see if the Hornets play for the short yard gain and try to go for it again, maybe. Rivera gets it's going to be a screen. Elaine gets it. He has no blockers, and he's going to be tackled immediately. Tackled by, looks like Marcus Albert again, who had the pick that was called back.
Yeah, Keenan Black over here on the right side got beat. The idea there on the swing pass, Keenan Black holds his block, and then you've got one-on-one, and you trust Bryson Aline to win that matchup. But Black got beat, and you leave 2-on-1 to Aline, and he's left out to dry there. But kind of what you'd expect on 3rd and 12. The Hornets not really built to convert 3rd and 12s. Couldn't go to another wide receiver screen. They've done it plenty, and so they lose out on that 3rd down.
So punt here by Martinez. It's going to be taken in by Garden. Garden still running. There's a flag on the play. This may be coming back. It is coming back, but he's running inside the 40, past the 50. He's still running, folks, and he's going to be knocked out of bounds at the 30.
Yeah, that looked like Derek Williams, I believe, down here for North Carolina A&T. An obvious block in the back, no question about it, and I think that very well should be the call. In this one, as you see the Hornet defenders walking down towards the flags, it should be coming way back.
Thankfully, for the Hornets' sake, and like I said, obvious block in the back. 2 penalties so far in this game, both against North Carolina A&T. Let's keep an eye on those penalties as well, if they can help the Hornets out a little bit.
Yeah, the NC A&T doing a good job bailing the Hornets out with the interception called back on the penalty, and now the block in the back should be.
During the return, illegal block in the back, return team number 30. That penalty is declined. During the return, illegal block in the back, return team number 88. That penalty be enforced. North Carolina A&T retains the ball. First down.
So Malik Wilson's blocking the back will stand.
And David Pulliam was the other one. So multiple block in the back calls. NCAA as good as their coverage has been in special teams. Not great execution there on the return. And so, again, bailing out the Hornets with these penalties. NCAA not playing particular discipline here early on. But we get another look at Tariq Cohen, and so does this Hornets defense.
So do all you viewers out there. And if he does it again, he'll go even further with the ball at the 7. But let's not hope so. And the Hornets will look to stack that box a little bit. But we'll still stay with the backup quarterback in for the Aggies. Let's see what happens here. It's going to be a throw on first down. He takes a shot, and it's going to be a wide open receiver. That's Keys. He's still running to the 50. Big time gain. Denzel Keys. He's got the keys there. 6'4", 210, another senior, and that's just a mismatch.
And Gary Melton Jr. not tall enough for that 6'4" receiver over there on the right side. No safeties over the top. NCAA identifies it, and they're able to take advantage and beat them.
So ball go to the 49. Great throw there by Bamero. It's going to go to Cohen. Cohen runs right, and he is stopped immediately. Great job there by the D-line of the Hornets. Looks like stop on a play. First guy that got him was Robert Jernigan. Gobbled him up. So we're at 2 minutes remaining in quarter number 1. Exciting first quarter early on, I do so, Chris.
Absolutely, yeah, and the Hornets do a great job there getting penetration up front and beating the NCAA offense. And as we wind down in this first quarter, Hornets going to need to continue that, but it looks like we're going to get a pass here.
Bamero, as Cohen comes off the field, is going to throw, and that was a miscommunication or just a misfire to Xavier Griffin, who was actually open.
Yeah, I think that was just a high pass there. Bamero had him open and just overthrew him. And now the Hornets, again, winning on first down. Do a good job there on second down. Now you've got 3rd and 11.
Sometimes things go your way. You get the backup quarterback who necessarily might not be able to make that throw like a Raynard could. And we'll see what happens here on 3rd and 11.
Be mindful of the screen here. Tariq Cohen, very dangerous out of the backfield. Be very mindful of a screen pass out here to him.
Hornets crowd in line. It's not going to go to Cohen. He's going to step out, and it is a screen. Let's see what happens. He cuts back. He's cutting way back, and he's going to be stopped. Great job by the Hornets. Great call there by you, Chris. Rashawn Barrett on the stop.
Yeah, they tried a little slip screen there. Cohen came out a little bit early, and the Hornets were able to identify it, and they blew that play up. Cohen trying to make something happen, doing some dancing. But the Hornets, after that big play on the first play of the drive, defense responds in a big way, and they'll force an A&T punt.
Loss of 7 for Cohen. I'll say it again, loss of 7. Not many times we can say that with Cohen's name in it. And that punt is going to be blocked. It is. It's going to be recovered and go out of bounds. What a job there by the Hornets. And the kick is blocked. What a play. Blocked on the play by Keenan Black. That just was a great special teams play. We talked about 3 phases of the game. Keenan Black, all effort there. What a play.
The Hornets' special teams has been much improved this season. I know, shout out to Derek Coleman. He loved special teams. The Hornets' special teams was a big-time weakness of this team in the past. But it's not anymore. Coach Carter's done a great job on that side.
And we got a new quarterback in the game, folks. Keenan Black. He's going to run. He's going to get inside the 25, So Keenan Black, he's going to come into the game and be the new quarterback, and let's see what happens.
Well, Black came in as a quarterback, but now he runs a lot of plays at wide receiver. Coach Carter has moved him out, but he is a threat to throw the ball, and now he can operate your Wildcat offense and give you the threat to throw it.
There he is with the gloves on his hands. Black looking for the snap. Gets it. Going to give it to Waters. Waters runs left, has room, gets inside, still running, legs turning, gets inside. The 15 still moving to Powell. And Chris, you talk about a guy that runs hard. Mike Waters.
Absolutely. I said earlier, he will refuse to go down. You have got to work to take him down as we see Gil Rivera come back into the game. But the Hornets, Coach Carter, bringing out all the stops. We've seen a fake field goal. We've seen a big-time throw on their opening play from scrimmage. Now we see the Wildcat. The punt team has come after 2 punts. The first one they almost got to. This one they did get to. So Coach Carter bringing out all the stops. And it makes you wonder, if we coached this way and executed football this way all season, where this team might be at. But they've certainly brought it today here for the number 1 team in the conference.
Well, that'll be the last play of the first quarter. We'll switch sides, but we won't switch. We'll be right back. Chris Moore, Byron Dixon with the call. And Chris, first quarter was exciting, a little bit of everything. Great opening drive, some turnovers, some penalties. Tariq Cohen, being Tariq Cohen. And you see the plays here. You get some backup quarterbacks in the game. A lot to talk about.
Absolutely. There's been good and bad for both sides. The good really for A&T was Tariq Cohen, and that's really been about it. The Hornets have done a great job in just about every other aspect of this game. Penalties for North Carolina A&T, the blocked punt given up by North Carolina A&T. We've seen their backup quarterback be a little inaccurate. So a lot of struggles for North Carolina A&T early on. Certainly, though, a confident bunch, a bunch that believes in themselves. I don't think there's much panic on that sideline yet. But remember, key to the game number 2 for the Hornets, keep this game close. There has not been a game within single digits for NCA&T in any of their recent games. And so if you can do that, if you can get to the fourth quarter in a close game with NCA&T, you will put them in a position that they have not been very much this season. They've had one close game. They went to a 4th overtime with Kent State, upset FBS Kent State, but that was way back on September 10th. Since then, they've been pretty much beating up on everybody, and now you get an opportunity here. If you can keep it a close game, who knows what we might see from them. And again, Coach Carter has brought out all the stops for this North Carolina A&T football team.
9 first downs for the Hornets, only 2 for North Carolina A&T in the first quarter. Keep that in mind, folks, as we move forward. Rivera back in, rolls right. He's going to throw back to the lineman. He had a wide open guy, but it was just out of the outstretched arms of Ernest Mangoni. And what a going away present that would be for the senior.
And the trick plays continue. We see something different. You see it a lot nowadays more in football, the backside screen, play action flow, everything to the right, and you got a man slip out to the left wide open. And Mangoni, though, showing why he's an offensive lineman there. That one right through with the hands.
Oh, that would have been fun to see. Think you've seen it all. 2nd and 10 at 12 for Rivera. Got Scott and Rutherford in the slot. Guarding that top of your screen. It's going to go to Elaine. Elaine cuts back and loses a yard on the play. Looks like he was touched first by Julian McKnight.
A&T all over Bryson Elaine here early in this game. They're very aware of the type of home run hitter that he is. They're trying to keep all eyes on him. Hornets have been more effective, quite frankly, when he's not on the field, but that's not to his fault. Again, A&T just focusing plenty on number 6.
So it'll be 3rd, and they'll call it 14, and the ball will be at the 16-yard line.
So if you're Gil Rivera, you're certainly trying to get this first down, but you have to be smart. Do not turn it over. You have 3 points here. Nazidi, a good field goal kicker, despite just being a freshman.
Rivera drops the throw, has time, has a man. It's Scott, gets his feet in, and that's going to be spotted. They're spotted at the 5, or the 4, excuse me. And let's see what they do here. And it looks like the offense of the Hornets with Rivera staying on, Chris.
And a great play there from the Hornets. You just would have liked to have seen Aris Scott a little bit more mindful of the sticks, get to the 3 instead of the 4.5, 5-yard line.
It's going to be a timeout on the play by the Hornets, so they'll get their offensive set if they're going to stay on the field and go for it. But I don't think this is a bad idea. I know they say take the points, but you don't have a win. You want to try to do anything you can. And if you stop, you have to come back, 96 yards?
Right, absolutely. At home, normally the mindset is take the points. You're the home team. Take your points, take the lead. On the road is where you like to see a team be aggressive. But this Hornets team, it doesn't matter, home or away, they've struggled this season. So any game is that kind of game where you have to play with the aggressiveness that they're playing with right now. Again, we've talked about it. We've seen plenty from this football team early. Coach Carter bringing out all the stops for this game, and it's working. And the one thing I would like to see here is Mike Waters in the game, not Bryson Aline. Aline has struggled they've struggled to block for him. But Mike Waters has been the effective running back so far. And I know Aline is the more experienced guy and the one that they really like. But Mike Waters right now is the hot hand. If they're going to run it here on 4th and 2, I would like to see 25 in the game, give him the opportunity to bowl forward and get these yardage. This is his type of situation.
A little play action wouldn't be bad here. Isaiah Williams, Chris. Want to talk about him real quick. Get a touch on early. He always seems to have a knack to be open and find his nose to the football.
Absolutely. I talked about it when he made the catch. Williams, a big kid, 6'3", 240 pounds. He is a mismatch nightmare, as is Eris Scott. Scott, a taller receiver. I would not be surprised if they try and go to the corner of the end zone to Eris Scott.
Williams, one of those fabulous 48 freshmen. Elaine in the game. Rivera drops the throw. He's going to throw to Scott. Back shoulder. And pretty good defense all around. No flag on the play.
No, and certainly not a play you call a flag on. That was just some hand fighting in the corner of the end zone. I like the play call. The throw could have been a little bit better. NC&T playing a little bit of off coverage there. I think they kind of saw it coming. And so if you were going to do that, I probably would have gone to the back shoulder. Even if it is with a fade, I probably would have gone to the back shoulder if I was Rivera. Give Eris Scott more of a chance to make that catch. That was just thrown up in the middle of the defender and Scott, and the defender had an easy swat away. But now, Hornets defense out on the field with an opportunity here to if nothing else, flip field position.
A&T in I formation. It's going to go to Cohen. And he's going to be stopped immediately. Great job there by Hornet defense on the dive play.
And at this part of the field, if I'm the Hornets, if they beat me throwing the football, so be it. But we're coming after the run. We're coming after Tariq Cohen. I think he's the guy you got to have all your eyes on. Keep eyes on 28. If they beat you with somebody else and get the first down, so be it. But I'm not going to let Tariq Cohen at this part of the field beat me.
No gain on the play. They'll reset and do it again. 13 minutes remaining in the second quarter. And an exciting game, even though the score is only 7-7. Seen a little bit of everything. Romero still the quarterback, and we'll have a play that'll probably bring it back. Looks like it'll be on A&T, and that line looks like a jump.
And not
So
what you
that'll
want
be
to
half
see
the
here.
distance to the goal.
Yeah, not what you want to see. At the 4-yard line, 2 yards is a big deal. Most other places on the field.
So that'll be on Daryl Mack.
And Mack making that mistake. But again, 2 yards is a big deal when you're at the 4-yard line. That's that much closer to your own goal line. Not where you want to be, but I think you're still going to see. I think Tariq Cohen is still the man you've got to keep your eyes on if you're the Hornets. Don't look anywhere else.
Well, when they call you your name is offensive lineman, it's usually not good. In this case, it wasn't. So they'll call it 2nd and 12. Ball at the 2, shadow their own end zone. I formation again. And as Chris said, Cohen gets it. He stopped immediately, and that's going to be a short gain, if anything.
Hornets doing a great job here on the defensive side. Just loading up the box, and the linebackers flowing the direction that Cohen is flowing, bottling him up. And they're all over it. And here at this part of the field, Cohen's cutback ability kind of becomes limited because you're running the risk near your own end zone of being severely backed up even more than you already are. So Cohen's cutback ability kind of neutralized by the field position.
Garfield Heslop on the stop. So it'll be 3rd. He's rolling. He's throwing. And that's going to be a catch, looks like, on the stop by Elijah Bell on the catch on the receptions from Bomero. But they'll spot it, and it's going to be a first down for the Aggies.
And good play design there, knowing you have your backup quarterback in. Roll him out, get him to one side to where he's comfortable at. And they just run a simple out route, run to the sticks, run to the out, run to the sideline.
And Cohen's going to get it. Runs left, spin cycle. Spins, has room to the 30. He's playing to the 40. Cohen's got speed. Cohen could be going back for 6 more. 1 man to beat, 5. Touchdown, Tariq Cohen. Put the Hornets defense in spin cycle like laundry. And he runs it all the way again. Chris, another one.
The Hornets just got Tariq Cohen. I mean, that was obviously an exceptional run, the spin move at the line of scrimmage. But the Hornets got pushed around up front, no penetration. Cohen had one man to beat, went through the line of scrimmage, and there was nobody to be found in the secondary, and Tariq Cohen was outrunning everybody. That one was pretty easy for Cohen. The Hornets got to make it tougher on him.
Wow. So the extra point is up and good. 14-7, Aggies take the lead, and just like that, Tariq Cohen showing why he's one of the best running backs we've seen in MEAC history.
Yeah,
84-yard touchdown.
Tariq Cohen, again, that one that was made pretty easy for him because of the Hornets' lack of penetration up front. And I think they were playing the pass just a little bit. And so because they played the pass, handoff to Cohen, not great defensive line penetration, and Cohen found a hole, hit the spin button, and he was off to the races. And so the Hornets, again, we've heard of the quarterback spy. Again, I think if I were Coach Carter, I'm going up to Malik Harris and saying, hey, you're a running back spy. I need your eyes on on Tariq Cohen at all times because that's the only way you're going to have any chance of stopping Tariq Cohen.
5 carries, 142 yards, and 2 touchdowns for Cohen. 11 minutes, 17 remaining till halftime.
I would say that's a pretty good average. I don't know what it is off the top of my head. 5 carries, 140 yards. Trying to do the math. That's almost 30 yards a carry. So I would have to say I think the Hornets are going to have to do a better job. Again, another 5 carries. They've done a great job on 3 of them.
Right.
The other 2, unfortunately, was about as bad of a job as you could do.
28 yards a carry, but not too bad for mental math. Early on, this just you see how great he is. He's able to do it all and virtually untouched, as you said. Give credit to his offensive line, though.
Yep, and so now the Hornets have to respond. Now the first big-time adversity they've faced, failing to get into the end zone down near the goal line, and then giving up a 96-yard drive. Now they've got a response to make.
And it'll be a touchback. Hornets will get the ball. Well, got to make a response, and let's see what the Hornets team is made of. They've been trailing before. Let's see if they can make it again going into the halftime break.
But if you're the Hornet offense, though, there's no reason to get discouraged. You've moved the ball well. You've done everything you've needed to do outside of score on that drive where you're down at the 4-yard line. But again, that's scoring in the red zone is not an easy thing to do. And so especially when you put yourself up against it on 3rd down. So the Hornets offensively, just keep doing what you're doing. It's working. The defense obviously is going to need to make some adjustments.
Elaine will be the back to start this drive. Rivera's still the quarterback. Rivera's going to throw on 1st down. It's going to be complete to Eric Scott, but not much on the play there. Gets the ball to the 30, tackled by Zarius Lockhart.
And a good play there. Nice pickup of 5 yards. Only thing I'd like to see, Rivera gets rid of it a little sooner. Give Scott an opportunity to maybe make a play. Outside of that, though, good play design there for the Hornets.
2nd and 5 at the 30. Under 11 minutes remaining till halftime. He's going to throw again. Garnett, great catch there. And he's going to be close to another 1st down. Let's see where they spot it. As Albert on the tackle, and they'll move the chains, Chris.
That good throw, good read from Gil Rivera. He saw Albert there, threw it to the outside, and a good catch made by Garnett to get the 1st down. But a good throw from Rivera.
Rivera on 1st down. They're going to throw again, 3 straight. And a great pass on a slant pattern. And that's going to be another 1st down. Daniel Rutherford showing off the hand skills. 1st down for the Hornets.
And Gil Rivera showing his ability in the pocket. Quick strike offense. That's 3 quick passes by the Hornet offense. Rivera finding the open man. And the Hornets moving the ball again on offense.
1st into the midfield, and Elaine joins the party. Elaine joins the party, runs right. Flag, this could be coming back as Elaine's still running. Let's see what they call it here as long as you're on the field.
And
there's another flag.
In the area of holding, but Kenneth Melton there for NC A&T got in the backfield, and Bryson Aline, a great run to cut right, get away from him, and cut upfield. But unfortunately, as you said, with the flags, looks like this play is going to be coming back. We might have 2 holding calls on the Hornets because Aline went outside as well.
Two holding calls on the play. 18 offense, that penalty decline. Holding number 75 on the offense, that penalty accepted. 10 yards from the previous spot. 1st down.
So it'll be 1st and 20 for the Hornets. And they'll move the ball back 10 yards to the 40.
And so Chuck Azuzo, the offensive lineman, called for the hold, and Mason Rutherford, the receiver, called. So the Hornets now going to have to go back to work. And I'd like to see the passing game again. Get Rivera again. Get some more quick strike offense. You can pick up 6, 7 here. You pick up 6 and 7 again. Then all of a sudden you can make it 3rd and 6, 3rd and 5. Give yourself an opportunity on 3rd down. But as we said, the Hornets not necessarily built. And I don't know what offense is built to convert on 3rd and long. Hornets now got to just get themselves in 3rd and manageable.
So it'll be 1st and 20 from the 40 for Rivera. Let's see what they do. They stick with the pass. And similar to the play we saw before, goes back to Rutherford. Tackled on the play by Marquise Willis.
And there you see the big hit delivered to Rutherford, and that's on Gil Rivera. You got to get the ball out quicker. Trust the route concepts. Trust your man's going to be where you expect him to be, and hit him in stride. Rivera a little bit late on the throw, and when you're late over the middle, you're leaving your receiver open for a shellacking.
2nd and 15, ball to 45. Scott in the slot, a lane to the left of Rivera. Rivera fakes it. It's going to be a throw down the field. There's Scott. Great adjustment. Climbs the ladder, the imaginary one, and makes the catch. And that's going to be a 1st down for the Hornets, Chris.
And we saw NC A&T do the same thing. Play action, roll out, get your quarterback in a spot where he can be comfortable. Scott gets open near the sideline. Rivera finds him, and the Hornets, just like that, turn 1st and 20, now into 1st and 10 in NC A&T territory.
Ball will go to the 36, and great job there finding one of your playmakers. And a snap goes over Rivera's head. He'll just fall on it.
And we've seen that a couple of times. Mangoni a little bit high with the snap. Might be trying to get out of the stance and get to his block quickly, and snaps it a little bit high, and Rivera unable to come up with it. And so
2nd and 20, another loss to 10.
And the Hornets not putting themselves in great position. We talk about winning on 1st down. They're starting to lose that, and that's not where you want to be against this NCAA football team.
So 2nd and 20 for the Hornets. Rivera back to throw, has time, steps up, rolls right, and he'll try to throw it away, and it is almost intercepted. Almost picked off by Marcus Albert. Albert's been all over the field today.
And I don't know about you. I didn't see a receiver in the field. I think you could make the argument that that was intentional grounding. I didn't see a receiver in the area, and Rivera was certainly still in the tackle box. That
Ball went past the line of scrimmage.
Well, looks like they said he was out of the pocket, depending on who you ask, but it'll be 3rd and 20 for the Hornets at the 46.
well, you'll take it if you're the Hornets.
Certainly will, Chris. We certainly will. And let's see what the Hornets do on 3rd and 20. Rivera throws. Rutherford is going to be knocked initially and driven back, but makes the way to the 40. Stopped there by Marcus Ragland, D lineman coming upfield, making stop, and Hornets will punt.
And that looked like it was designed to be a screen pass out to Bryson Aline, and Rivera opted to go to Rutherford underneath. But if we see the replay, you see Aline swinging out to the left and 2 offensive linemen going with him in front of him. So it looked like it was a design screen or maybe a fake screen, something along those lines. But nonetheless, 3rd and 20, you're not putting yourself in great position to convert. But a good drive, you can flip field position with a good punt and try and fight Tariq Cohen some more.
Martinez punt. It's going to land at the, looks like it's going to be at the 4-yard line. See where they spot it. It is at the 4. So great punt by Martinez. And Martinez, another one of the freshmen. He's shown some signs this year. I know punters don't get a lot of attention, but he's done some good punts.
Absolutely, and that's we talk about the special teams improvement that Coach Carter has brought to this team. Nazidi, the junior, solid kicker. And there you see Fidel Romo Martinez. We've seen him, saw him against Hampton, pick up a big-time run on a fake punt on 4th and long. Martinez gets the 1st down, and there you see his ability of doing what he was brought here to do, which is punt the football, and he's able to pin NC A&T at the 4-yard line. And so now, again, Delaware State on the defensive side. You've got to have an answer. The last time we saw them here down near the A&T goal line, they did a good job of stuffing Cohen early on the first 2 downs, and then they gave up the passing play on 3rd down. So they're going to need 3 good plays here, but they've done a good job. They flipped the field position. Now you got to make it happen one more time.
Like you said, they flipped the field position, but they got to contain Cohen. It's coming down simple as that. Not many else things they are doing well other than that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the Hornets have done a good job. It's just been 2 running plays by Tariq Cohen that's hurt them. Other than that, this has really been a good performance by this Delaware State team, and specifically the defense.
So it'll be 1st and 10 at the 4 again for A&T. Last time they were down here, they converted. He's going to take a shot deep, and that's going to be just outside of the outstretched arms of number 84, Elijah Bell. And taking a shot on 1st down does Romero and his offense.
Yeah, Isaiah Small there on the coverage. Good job downfield keeping up with Elijah Bell. Good defense. I like the play that call, though, from A&T. They recognized last time Delaware State really sold out to the run, and so they tried to take a shot.
So it'll be 2nd down. It'll be a screen, and it is dropped. Dropped on the play by Xavier Griffin. So 3rd and 10 from the 4. Hornets defense has a chance to get the ball back for their offense.
Yeah, A&T tried to go tempo there, tried to get Delaware State on their heels, and they're just trying to rush. Poor execution. Now you've got 3rd and 10. But with a guy like Tariq Cohen, 3rd and 10 is certainly still an opportunity to run the football. So don't be surprised here if we see Tariq Cohen get it on a shovel pass, on a screen, something along those lines. A&T, though, certainly going to try and find a way to get it into number 28's hands, and I can't blame him with the way he's looked so far.
Aggies 2 for 3 on 3rd down. It'll be 3rd and 10. He's going to roll right this moment, and it's going to be a draw. And he's got a room. It's that guy Cohen. There he is again to the 40 almost. And wow, on a draw on 3rd and 10. Tariq Cohen.
I told you they were going to find a way to get the ball in number 28's hands on a screen, on a shovel. Turned out to be a draw. The Hornets fell asleep, and Tariq Cohen will absolutely light you up if you're asleep. And he did there, and now the Hornets, again, with the ball against A&T's back, they let him off the hook.
So 1st and 38, and Romero will run it himself. Doing his best, Tariq Cohen gets to the 50. And another good gain on a play, and that's going to be another 1st down.
Good read there by Bomero. Nobody there to the left side. He had a receiver. Receiver ran a slant route, left nobody over there. And rather than throwing the ball into coverage, he took off. He picks up a big gain. And now the Hornets, just like that, are on their heels after having NCA&T backed up.
Well, Tariq Cohen will get the ball, or he won't actually, and Romero will fake it. And great job there by Malik Harris, your guy, Chris, on the loss, staying home.
That was a great job. That was more than Malik Harris. Hornets had multiple defenders in on the stop. And that's the kind of penetration you need. And I'm a little surprised, but I guess it's another one of those things we talked about. You got to keep the defense honest. You can't keep handing it off to Tariq Cohen on the read option. This time they keep it, but the Hornets all over it. And now, again, you've got them backed up. Got to convert if you're Delaware State.
2nd and 20. So 20 has been a theme of this first half. Ball at the 43. Snap is a little bobble, but Romero will just keep it himself, and he'll try to get any positive yardage. And it looks like, again, Malik Harris was the first guy in on the play.
Yeah, I think he was trying to go to Cartwright on the handoff and lost the snap, couldn't get it up to hand it off to him. And just did a good job there, not panicking, took it forward himself, picked up a couple of yards. But now certainly they have their work cut out for him on 3rd down.
So it'll be 3rd and 18, they'll call it. Gain of 2.
And Cohen's off the field. Cartwright in at running back. So Hornets certainly have to take advantage of this.
Hornets have to get off the field, simply put. Let's see what happens. Let's see if they bring pressure. 3rd and 18. Romero gets it, drops, has time, goes deep, has a man, and that ball looked like it was dropped. And Chris Garden looks like he had it, just couldn't come through with the catch.
Well, good coverage there. It looked like it was Logan Westcott. Not sure, can't make out the number, but he did a good job. He got beat, but he reached back and swatted the ball away. I don't know that it was a drop. I think it was good coverage, able to get his hand back in the pass catching area, knock it away. And so the Hornets defense takes advantage. Any down, Tariq Cohen's not on the field. You have to do something good if you're the Hornets defense, and they did there.
So the Hornets defense gets off the field. Let's see if they can block another punt maybe. Rutherford deep to return for the Hornets. Hornets are going to come again. They won't get there this time, but it'll be taken in, and it'll be a touchback. So good job. It'll be solid field position for the Hornets.
Yeah, well, Coach Carter, again, showing that they are not afraid. They are coming after every single punt. They come after another one there. A&T had a few extra blockers in for the stop, and then a good job by Rutherford to make the read and let it bounce into the Hornet end zone. So now they get it at their own 20. 4.5 minutes to go, and the Hornets, it looks like Daniel Epperson has come in
At
to play quarterback.
So Epperson, we get a change of quarterback, and what do you think about that?
Well, offense has stalled out a little bit, but I don't know that it was Gil Rivera's fault. But we're going to see what Epperson brings. I don't know. I think this offense has been at its best when Rivera's been in the pocket and throwing the ball. Between last game and this game, Epperson hasn't provided much of a spark for the Hornets the past few games.
So 1st and 10, Epperson will throw on his first time, and Isaiah Williams throwing behind him, but tough catch to make in traffic.
And that's a throw to me I think Gil Rivera makes. Rivera puts it on Williams on the money and allows him to go forward. Epperson there just a little bit behind. And Isaiah Williams can't make the catch. And so, like I said, they brought in Epperson. They did it last week, and he didn't provide much of a spark. And I think he's looking for the same effect here.
2nd and 10 at the 20, Epperson will throw again. Hornets not looking to run, but there's Scott, another reception. Gets up, and it looks like that's going to be close to a first down, and it is for the Hornets.
And I should say, Epperson makes really good reads. He finds open guys. He finds spots. He's just not the most accurate of guys. If you could get his ability to read the defense and Rivera's accuracy, I think you'd have a heck of a quarterback for the Hornets.
Waters jukes a man, looking for room. He's not going to find it, and he swallowed up immediate. Wow, Julian McKnight on the stop.
Yep, and more penetration up front for NCA&T. The Hornets' best running game has been Mike Waters straight down the hill. Anytime they've tried to go side to side, A&T's had penetration and able to get stops.
Loss of 3, 2nd and 13 on the play with 30 at the 31 with 3:45 remaining till halftime. Rivera with the headset on, giving instructions to Epperson. It's going to be shotgun. We're going to have 3 receivers there. Scott bottoming screen. Rutherford looking for him. He's going to throw Scott short to Williams, and that's going to be a short positive gain.
And there you see it. Good, quick reads, good, quick decisions from Epperson. This time an accurate pass hit Isaiah Williams right in the face mask. And Williams able to come up with the catch, and they put themselves in a 3rd and 8, a little bit longer than you'd like, but it's certainly more manageable than, say, 3rd and 12, 3rd and 13. And so now an opportunity for the Hornets.
So 3rd and 8, ball to 36. Here comes pressure from North Carolina A&T. Rutherford steps up. He lost the ball. That ball's on the ground. It's going to be recovered by the big fella, number 74, Charles Wallace, and he's not going to get much room. Tackled on the play by Angelo Keys. Well, Chris talked about it. Can't turn the ball over coming to the game.
Epperson trying to step up in the pocket. It might have been trying to run and was a little bit loose with the ball, and he got it swatted out of there. Fortunate Charles Wallace was able to come up with the pickup and actually only lost about 2 yards on the play, so a very fortunate result for the Hornets. But if you're Epperson, when you're stepping up in pressure like that, got to be stronger with the football.
So it'll be Martinez in the punt again, 4th and 10. Punt is up, and that's going to be out of bounds, not his best punt. See where they mark it. They'll mark it at about the 40. So generous spot there, and Aggies with 2:11 can pretty much still run a general offense.
Yeah, absolutely. With only 60 yards to go and the guy you have at running back, you can run whatever offense you want, because I tell you, they've handed it to him just a few times today, but he's been bound to pick up at least 30, 40 yards on any given carry. So the Hornets, though, this would be a big stop. If they can go into halftime within a touchdown, it would be a big win for the Hornets. They can go in, make some adjustments on how to contain number 28 and maybe come out in the second half.
So Cohen to the right of DeMauro. It's going to be a quick screen and a quick short gain. Leak Harris on the tackle. Completed to Deshaun McFadden, his first catch of the day.
And remember, no 2-minute warning in college football, so that clock will keep running.
So it'll be a quick, DeMauro keeps it, runs upfield, has room. He's still on his feet inside the 40 and hurdles a man while doing so. Big gain on the play.
And that looked like one of those run option passes. Bamiro fakes the handoff and then looked like he was keeping it, looking over the defensive line for an open man to throw to, and then decided nobody open, tucked it, and ran it. And now the Hornets defense up against it.
90 seconds remaining until halftime. They got the ball to 37. Bamiro is going to take a shot. Back shoulder, complete. The Keys. And it's going to be a flag. Let's see what the flag on the play is. Late one, but it's a flag.
It was a late flag, and I don't know exactly what it was for, but to me there was no doubt. You had offensive pass interference on the play. That was a push-off without question. I don't know how you have two referees over there that missed it, but there was no doubt about it to me that Denzel Keys pushed off. I mean, the referee all the way across the field saw it, and the two guys on top of the play didn't see it, but he absolutely shoved, it looked like with his right hand. And so we'll see if they pick it up. You have the ref all the way across the field make the call, and the two on top of it didn't see it. So this is one that might get overturned, but to me it shouldn't. There was no doubt about it to me that it was pass interference, and the players beginning to back up. So I think this one's going to come back.
Looks like back judge Rory Bernard made the play there, made the call on the penalty. So let's see what they do here as they adjudicate and try to make a decision.
And they're bringing everybody in and talking about it, so they're really going over this call. And it is an important call because that was a big gain, and it would cause a loss of yards, and they're going to take it away.
Did they pick it up? Looks like they did. How many times do you see that in the game of football? But Chris, like you said, looks like it was a push-off play.
That's terrible. Quite frankly, I mean, you have two referees over there that are on top of it, and they just flat out missed the call, and the one ref that's across the field, unfortunately, he saw it, but they're not going to defer to his angle. But to me, that was blatant here from up in the booth.
Here come the Bluebirds. And it'll be 1st and 10 for Bamiro. Fakes to Cohen. Cohen yet to get the ball on his drive. He's throwing, has a man. It's up the ladder. He's going to be caught for North Carolina A&T touchdown. Number 84, Elijah Bell on the reception, using all of that height that he had there to make the reception. 6'2", and a freshman.
And the Hornets wanted a false start on the play as well. If you see, their defensive tackles come up pointing at an offensive lineman. They don't get the call. And just a great throw there from Bamiro to put it up for his big man to go up and get it. And they make the play, as you said, Elijah Bell. He's a 6'2", 210-pound freshman. So he's going to be a guy to look out for over the next few years in the MEAC Conference. But certainly an aided drive by the refs to pick up the pass interference call and then not call what the Hornets believe to be a false start. I didn't see it, but obviously they have the best angle. And I think Coach Carter's talking to the referees about what he feels should have been a false start. And so A&T gets a break, and now they take a 2-touchdown lead. Hornets with work to do with a minute left. And Hornets only have 2 timeouts. They used their first one down before the 4th down play down on the goal line. So
14 unanswered for the Aggies. And then, Chris, if I told you that Tariq Cohen wouldn't have 1 touch on the drive and that the Aggies would get 6 plus an extra point, you'd probably think I was crazy.
Yeah, not what you would have wanted to hear for the Hornets.
Right.
But again, I'm still befuddled as to how that pass interference call was picked up. There was no doubt to me on the button hook that was a shove with Denzel Keys. And the referees picked it up, and credit to NCAA&T. They took advantage of it and converted on the next play for a touchdown. And now 1:04 to go, and it looks like that Daniel Epperson's got the headset back on, and Rivera's got his helmet. So we could see Gil Rivera out at quarterback for this 1-minute drive, and the Hornets likely going to be trying to get at least a field goal out of this drive.
So 21-7 to score, 1:04 remaining until halftime. It's going to go and stay And Elaine will pick it up. Runs out to the 20. Has room, cuts back, and almost had a lot of room if he could have made a man miss. Good tackle there by Marquise Willis, saving a potential big game.
Marquise Willis might have just saved a touchdown with that tackle. Bryson Aline, first of all, an unfortunate bounce that it didn't go out of bounds. It looked like a golf ball on a wet golf course, just hit the ground and stuck. And so Bryson Aline, though, did a good job, picked it up. And, boy, one more guy, if he could have made miss, that would have been a big gain. It might have been a touchdown.
That oblong-shaped football does bounce weird, as you saw why earlier. A&T, same play, why he grabbed the football.
Yeah, absolutely. That might have been a little bit of evidence there and some support as to why he picked up the ball earlier rather than let it go out of bounds.
So 58 seconds for Rivera, who was taken out and now back in. He's going to step up. He's looking to go down the field. Has a man. It's going to be caught by a lane. Let's see what they call it. They're going to call it incomplete. Said it hit the turf.
And
What do you think
Aline
about that
doesn't
one,
like
Chris?
the call. He thought he had the catch. Gil Rivera did a great job on the play, avoiding the rush, stepping up. And Aline got out of the backfield and got open, and Rivera was a little bit inaccurate with the pass.
It's
And
a tough one. It may have grazed the turf, but kind of hard to tell.
Yeah, certainly difficult to tell from up here whether that was a catch or not. But just another unfortunate break for the Hornets. Things were going so well early on, and now a couple of bad breaks for the Hornets. And they're up against it here now.
2nd and 10 with 48 seconds remaining. They got to make a play and make it fast with only 2 timeouts left. Aggies still have a full complement of theirs. Not that they'll need it. Rivera dropping, empty backfield, nowhere to go. He's going to be sacked. We got a flag, but for the moment, it looks like Darrell Johnson Jr. has a sack.
And I think the biggest key that you could say to this game so far has been NCA&T is certainly winning the battle up front on both sides of the ball.
So no penalty. Another flag picked up.
But both sides of the ball, North Carolina A&T has won the battle up front. Their offensive line has bullied the Delaware State defensive line, and for the most part, they've won up front on the defensive side as well, and A&T has beat up this Hornet offensive line.
And the Hornets look like they may have conceded the half. They get sacked, no timeout taken, clock still running. We're down to 25 seconds remaining until half, and the Hornets just taking their time like they have all day. And it's going to be a handoff, and that might do it for the first half. A lane runs right, not much room there, and Aggies defense containing this running game of the Hornets as they've been bottled up all day with another flag on the play as tempers are flaring.
Yeah, a little bit of frustration starting to boil over for the Hornets. They've had some very good moments in this football game, took the lead early, and they're seeing it slip away from them. And now you get another one of these flags from a referee that's nowhere near the play. But we'll see if this one stands or not. But certainly, if you're the Hornets, I like the decision there after the second down play to just go to the half. But A&T, I don't know if they called a timeout. They didn't have to because of the flag, and we'll get the call.
Another flag picked up. That's 3 if you're scoring at home, Chris. And A&T will take a timeout.
And I was just about to get into whether A&T called their timeout. Punt return, big things happen on punt returns. A&T could be trying to turn that into it. But yeah, the picked up flags has been huge in this game. Certainly the one with the pass interference call earlier. But, you know, we saw this last week when the Hornets played NC Central. A lot of flags, a lot of pushing and shoving in that game. And we're starting to see it boil over into this game. Another North Carolina team, this one A&T. But the Hornets certainly not where they would have liked this game to be with the way that it started for them with the big drive, then forcing the 3 and out. Now just up 21-7, and they're going to punt it away with 14 seconds left. So we'll see what A&T's got in store on this kick return.
North Carolina A&T 300 total yards on offense in one half.
Well, that's got a lot to do with the 3 big runs from Tariq Cohen.
Half of that to Cohen. Martinez will see if he gets the punt off. Barely does. And that's going to spiral out of bounds to the North Carolina A&T sideline. 7 seconds remaining. A&T may try to take another shot, but they may just go into the half with the 14-point lead.
Well, credit to A&T. They knew what they wanted to do. They called the timeout, and they brought pressure after Romo Martinez to try and get the blocked punt. Martinez did a good job getting it away, but it wasn't a great punt, and it looks like they're going to mark it for A&T at the Delaware State 48-yard line. So there's multitude of things you could do here if you're A&T. They could try the Hail Mary, or they could try and get a 10-yard out route. They have all three of their timeouts. So they could really do anything here to pick up yards for a field goal or get a big play and maybe get a Hail Mary for a touchdown. We'll see what they have drawn up.
Well, they're going to come out in the gun. No Cohen in the game. But it's going to be a Hail Mary, and that's going to be way short. And that's going to be tipped and actually caught. Wow, by the touchdown recipient Elijah Bell coming back completing it. But to no avail, as it will be the end of the first half with the Aggies with the 21-7 lead over the Delaware State University Hornets. Well, Chris, first half in the books. Hornets try to keep it close. Aggies just showing that talent, mainly Tariq Cohen.
Absolutely. It was a great start to the game for Delaware State. Had the opening big-time drive and then had the 3-and-out force, and then from there things kind of got away from him. Tariq Cohen really kind of imposed his will with the big runs. Hornets, two things they have to do. Slow down Tariq Cohen and go back to the short West Coast quick passing offense. If they do those things, I think they can compete in this football game, but certainly not the end to the first half that they wanted to see.
Well, we'll be right back after the halftime break. Stay tuned for the halftime performers from the approaching storm. For Chris Moore and Byron Dixon, stay tuned. We'll be right back.
DSU approaching storm marching band would like to thank the DSU administration, faculty, staff, and students, and the alumni for your continued support of the approaching storm marching band. We would like to take this time to honor our graduating seniors. Delegates member Shaquan Berry, Mr. Terrell Butler, Ms. Raven Cope, Mr. Neil Davis, Ms. Brittany Jackson. Band captain, Mr. Hakeem Mabi. Delegates captain, Ms. Tasia Peoples. Ms. Zanae Nash. Mr. Julian Shaddy. Sweet 16 captain, Ms. Chelsea Taylor. Ms. Kayla Wetzel, and band captain, Mr. Javon Wilson. Thank you for your hard work, sacrifice, and dedication to the DSU program. Good luck to you in your future endeavors. For the final time this season, your drum major is Mr. Stone Cold Stephon Bridges. Please show him some love. Mr. Drum Major, let's get it in gear. Release the storm and let's change the atmosphere. Today's show is the approaching storm's best hits of 2016 with musical selections from The Jacksons, Prince, Johnny Kemp, Dougie Fresh, P. Diddy, and a little something to get you crunk at the end. Ladies and gentlemen, brace yourselves for our show of Fact and Personified. You are now under the DSU severe storm warning. For a life, the Delaware State University Marching Band. performing to the Johnny Clap King. The name, says it all. Delaware State. Elegant. Oh, yeah. That sound means that the storm is about to intensify and unleash the thunderstorm. Master Mix. If you want to see these bands, break it down like you know they can. Somebody scream! Ladies and gentlemen, presenting another super hype, thunderstorm master mix from the Apology Storm. Come on, say it with us. Here we go. Hit it. Okay, let's hit it with that key did it. Time to take a walk. We keep this one so nice. We added you in twice. Hit it with a little knock into the butt. The legacy continues. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I said we was going to do the mannequin challenge. Does everybody know what the mannequin challenge is? My millennials know. For my old school, this is what you do. We're going to say 1, 2, 3, challenge. And what you do is, you freeze your pose in any pose you want to. As if you were cheering or doing something. So you'd be like, whatever you do. Y'all with me? Matter of fact, let me show you guys. Let's take a look. That section right there. Y'all not do the mannequin challenge? Let's show them how it's done right quick. Y'all stand up, stand up, stand up. Stand up right quick. Stand up. This is an example of the mannequin challenge. 1, 2, 3, challenge. You see how they don't move? You have to hold that. You see how they still hold it? All right. Y'all got it? Now we're going to get the camera, and they're going to put it on the screen. Now you can't do the mannequin challenge and look at the camera at the same time and look at the screen. You cannot do that at the same time. All right? Come on. Y'all know how to do it? McGoney family, y'all gonna do it? Y'all with us? Y'all with us? Y'all with us? All right. I'm gonna get my phone out. And I'm gonna go all the way through the section. We're gonna do this section first. Hold on, not yet. Hold on, not yet. I love it. Look at them. They're prepared. Look at them. Will you look at this? Look at this. Look at this. Look. All right. Let me get the camera out. Hold on. Hold on. What is this? All right, here we go. Hold on. Time out. Time out. Time out. Time out. Time out. Put it down. Put it down. My phone's acting up a little bit. Somebody give me a phone over here. Give me somebody's phone. Give me somebody's phone. Y'all got faces. I know somebody got a cell phone over here. We go. Now Snapchat is too short. Put it on Instagram. She called me needy. Look at this. Are you ready? The McDonald family's going first. 1. Cam, you got the music, Cam. And action. That girl is a real proud thief. Small world, all the friends know me. Young bull living like an old thief. Release the cash, watch it fall slowly. Show some love, girl. They did the first one. McDonald family. Now this is what I need you to do. I need you to put that on Instagram. Hashtag DSU Mannequin Challenge. So anybody who wants to see it can check it out. Who's next? Right here? Y'all gonna do it? All right. Hold on. I'm gonna come to y'all. We got the little tiny tots over here. The little tiny. Y'all ready? What is that with my phone? Where you going? You better get up there. Get up there. Get up there in the mannequin. She's trying to run. Y'all ready? You got the camera? You got the phone? You ready? You recording? Whose mom is this? Alright, your mom's gonna record it. Y'all ready? 1, 2, 3, challenge. Go ahead, keep going, Dad. Keep going. Keep getting them. Hold it. Stop moving. Stop moving. You can't blink. Why is she blinking? Alright, show some love for the smart and tater tots. Tiny tots. Wee-wee. Who's next? This section right here. I gotta turn my phone on. Give me your phone, player. Now y'all gotta stand up and do something. I want to do something. Somebody do something crazy. Like, I want to see see so. We got 3 minutes left. Then I'm going to get the administration to go. Let me see so. Let me know when you're ready. 1, 2, 3, challenge.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Halftime in the Hornets' Nest. North Carolina A&T leads Delaware State University 21-7 as we get ready for second half kickoff alongside Chris Moore. I am Byron Dixon. And before we talk about the first half of this game and some other games going on throughout the MEAC in the last few weeks of the season, most teams starting to think things starting to take shape and who will be representing MEAC in the Celebration Bowl. Chris, some of the scores in the MEAC.
Yeah, well, Hampton, a team we had here not too long ago, about a month ago, they're taking on Savannah State today in Virginia. And Hampton leads 28-24 with just over 10 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. So that a really good football game coming down to the wire. Then you look over at South Carolina State, one of the top teams in the conference, third in the MEAC. They lead Norfolk State 7-3 starting the third quarter there. So a defensive slugfest going on in South Carolina. And then the other game going on right now, North Carolina Central only up 9-7 against Howard. Howard 1-8, the only team or the one team left on Delaware State's schedule, and they are in a dogfight right now with NC Central. Central and A&T, of course, set to square off next week in what will essentially be a de facto MEAC championship game. So Central got a dogfight on their hands against Howard, and then later on, starting in about a half hour, 4 o'clock, Florida A&M and Morgan State will do battle. But certainly one to keep your eye on, NC Central and Howard, 9-7. Of course, Central, like I said, in what will be a de facto MEAC championship next week against the team we have here, North Carolina A&T.
Well, first half in the books, Aggies 21-7. I think the game's a little bit closer than the scoreboard may indicate. Tariq Cohen, 6 carries, 177 yards, 2 touchdowns, averaging 29.3 a carry. But outside of that, looking at the first half stats, Chris, what jumps out to you with both teams?
Well, you said it. It's certainly a much closer game so far than the score indicates. Hornets leading time of possession, 17 minutes, 14 seconds to just 9 minutes and 24 seconds for North Carolina A&T. So Delaware State controlling the game, dominating the football. But the problem, as you said, Tariq Cohen been dominant, just the 6 carries for 177 yards. He's averaging 29 yards a carry. The problem for the Hornets, 21 rushes, only 13 yards. They have got to get the ground game going. Of course, some of that affected by the botched snap and a lot of these chunk yard loss plays, but they have got to get a more sustained ground game going, do a better job running the football. And that will give their offense a chance to get going a little bit better. They're relying heavily on the pass right now. They have 154 yards through the air. But if they can mix in the running game, and we will see what happens at quarterback, whether it's Gil Rivera or Daniel Epperson, I think that's going to be important as far as what we see out of this offense in the second half. But certainly I look at the running game to get going for the Hornets and to try and stop Tariq Cohen and the running game for NCA&T. And we'll see how much of Cohen we see in the second half. He only had 6 carries. He had the 1 catch out of the backfield. You know, how much of him are we going to see? A&T might just try and get out of here with him healthy for the game next week. So a lot to be determined here, but the Hornets with a puncher's chance, but it's going to start with a defensive stand here on the opening drive of the second half.
As you said, Nazidi will kick off. Aggies will actually get the first possession of the second half after deferring when they won the coin toss. So let's see what happens. And it's going to be a big return on the play to start the second half by Lockhart. Lockhart still running and gets inside the 40. Just not to start that the Hornets won, especially with the special team.
And you could see that one from up here. There was a big-time valley to run through for Lockhart, and he took advantage of it. He hit it hard. And now the Hornet defense not going to start this drive where they wanted to. And again, I'm very intrigued to see just how much of Tariq Cohen we get in this second half. A&T certainly, again, feels like this is a game that they should win. I'm not sure if we had a flag or something. I don't, did you see anything happen as to why this one's he
They said he
stepped
stepped out.
Okay.
Yeah. So
So a little
brings
bit
it
better
back.
field
A
position.
little bit brings back almost 20 yards. And Cohen will get the first carry, and surprisingly doesn't have much room. Looks like he barely got back to the line of scrimmage.
And the Hornet defense, good job there. And that was one of the things we did not see from them. We did not see much penetration from their defensive line up front. A&T's experienced veteran offensive line kind of pushed them around there in that first half. The Hornets have to do a better job in the second half battling back in the trenches if they're going to win this football game.
No gain on the play. Jones chased him out of bounds. But Matt Rowe still the quarterback, and for the Aggies, playing well, throwing and running. And it'll go back to Cohen, following his blockers patiently, and gets a nice gain on second down. Wilcher, first guy there.
And so it looks like we're going to see a little bit more of Tariq Cohen here in the second half. Only had 6 in the first half. Already has 2 carries on the first 2 plays from scrimmage. But you see, we have him listed here at 173 pounds. He looks a little bit heavier than 173 pounds, and he runs like it. He is not afraid of contact like you see a lot of small guys are. He welcomes it, and he will run through defenders if he needs to.
So just underway here in quarter number 3. Aggies up 21-7 with a 3rd and 5 on the 48. Their own 48. It's going to be a pass from Bamaro. It's going to be high and almost intercepted. Looks like Malik Harris in the vicinity again of the play.
And I was just about to say how important of a play that was. I mean, it was a big-time play. Hornets get the 3 and out, which is exactly how you wanted to draw it up for the open to the second half. Tariq Cohen out of the backfield. They had him open, and Bamiro just a little bit high with the throw, and Malik Harris nearly had a big-time momentum shifter in this football game.
Hornets trying to block another punt. Good pressure. Rutherford, he'll take it. He'll run backwards, runs to his right, and tripped up immediately on the play. Jeremy Taylor has tried to make something out of nothing.
Yeah, we haven't seen much from the punt returner, Mason Rutherford. The reason for that, when you send guys at the punter trying to get a block, you don't have many guys to block for the return. And so Rutherford just not much room to run for him today on the punt return, trying to make something happen there. Unfortunately, it doesn't work. But the Hornets been aggressive on special teams. They've been going after the punts, and they've already got 1 block, and they've been pretty close to a second one here a couple of times. So certainly something you want to see from the Hornet defense, forcing punts, and the special teams trying to reward them, trying to make something happen. We're going to see the Hornet offense for the first time here in the second half.
And let's see who the quarterback will be. Looks like it'll be Rivera, who's prepared to come out.
And I like that decision. I think Rivera's been very sharp, been very solid. And what's been working for them is the quick passing game, and I think he's better equipped for that than Daniel Epperson is. So I like the call here to go with Gil Rivera. And just would like to see a little bit more out of the running game for the Hornets. If they can do that, I think things will open up in the passing game, and they can not only get the short passing game going, but they can maybe drive the ball down the field and really open this offense up.
So it'll be 1st and 10. Rivera, the quarterback, as we stay at the ball at the 11. Rivera will hand it off to a lane, and as Chris said, they're trying to get the run game going, and it won't start here. Loss on the play, tackled on the play by Kenneth Melton.
And again, more penetration up front from that A&T defensive front. Delaware State, the offensive line, just getting pushed around, and they have got to step it up here in this second half if Bryson Aline and Mike Waters are going to have any chance to get their running game going.
Well, loss of 3 backs them up from the 11 to the 8. Shotgun for Rivera. They'll stick with the run. Lane runs left, tries to get any room. Not much there. Daryl Johnson on the stop. So 2 plays, 2 runs for the Hornets.
Yeah, and I think that Mike Waters needs to be the running back for the Hornets. At least in this game, it's just suited him better. Hornets blocking, not getting Bryson Aline very much room, and we've talked a lot about he's the home run hitter. He's the wind, the speed back for this team, and they need their rock. They need to get Mike Waters in there and let him go north and south, because east and west running is not working against this defense right now.
So they'll call it 3rd and 14. Ball will be spotted to 7 after the 1-yard loss by Elaine. Rivera will have to throw if they want to keep this drive alive. He's going to try to throw. Steps up, almost take down, and gets it out.
And again, I think you've got another argument for intentional grounding from A&T, but I think the refs are talking about it now as to whether it was intentional grounding.
Well, there's your answer. Thankfully not, because it'll be 2 points for the Aggies.
At least very close to it. Rivera was right at about the 1 yard line, if that. But nobody getting open and just not a good enough job on first and second down for the Hornets. And Rivera is forced to be up against it, and they can't convert on the 3rd and long. And so the running game, again, proving to be the issue for the Hornets. They lose 4 more yards on the ground.
Martinez will be in a punt. Back deep for the Aggies, Chris Garden. He will get a chance to return it. Takes it on a bounce. Runs left past the 40. Cuts inside. Has room. Tripped up, thankfully, on the play by Jordan Hanna. Stopped a potentially even longer game.
And those are the things that happen. They tried to run the ball to get themselves out of the shadow of their own goal line. They end up losing yards. And Romo Martinez is forced to punt from his own end zone. He can't get off a good one. And that just a low line drive that bounces right to Carter. And he's able to give A&T good field position. And so as good of a job as the defense did on that last drive, they're going to be asked to do an even better job here for the second half.
So 1st and 10 at the 31. I formation for the Aggies. It's going to be a fullback dive. Don't see that very often. And Cartwright, on the carry. Tackled on the play by, looks like we got Jacob Jones.
But it's effective for A&T, that fullback dive, because of Tariq Cohen. Cohen and his speed and getting around the outside kind of makes you vulnerable in the middle trying to contain him. And A&T takes advantage of it and gets about 5 yards.
5-yard gain for Cartwright. And they'll go back to Cohen, who likes to cut back, looking to do so here, and does, and gets upfield for another first down. Talk about that quick first step, lateral quickness and agility. He has it.
Yeah, Cohen, I mean, he's just, he looks like he's in a maze, just bouncing around, making cuts, running around corners, and then all of a sudden he cuts upfield and is able to turn anything really into a big gain. And he did it again there, just bouncing around, playing pinball with himself and other defenders, and all of a sudden he finds a hole in his forward for a big gain.
1st and 10 at the 15, 21-7 Aggies, and they're marching in the red zone. He's going to throw, take a shot back shoulder, and that's going to be incomplete. But, Chris, when you got a guy like that defensively, what do you have to do to contain him?
Well, I mean, it is not an exaggeration. You literally have to have 11 sets of eyes on the guy because if you don't, he will beat you. And you have to be disciplined in your rushes. You cannot, try and make a big play, and we know how he can cut back. You have to be disciplined in your gap assignments. Do your job, as Bill Belichick says. If you don't do that, Cohen's going to expose you.
And it's going to be an option to Cohen here. He's got a room along the sideline to bounce out of bounds at the 11. But running backs coach Sean Gibbs, he's had a special one in his career with Tariq Cohen.
Yeah, absolutely. A guy like Tariq Cohen makes you look good as a running backs coach. You don't have to do much. Just call up the head coach, say, hey, get my guy the football, and you're going to be happy.
Get 28 the ball early and often. It's not rocket science.
Well, they didn't get it to him too early. Like I said, we've talked about it a lot. Only had 6 carries. But he is certainly getting the ball more in this second half.
So it looks like Williams will be the running back here. And it'll be 3rd and 6. They can get a first down at about the 5. It's going to be a throw inside, and that's going to be a caught for a touchdown. Looks like Denzel Keys showing why he's a big-time target down at the red zone.
Yeah, Keys did a great job there getting inside separation, and you like how he made the catch and went right down, not taking a hit, going over the middle. A lot of times you can get separated from the football. Keys made the catch right to the ground, secured it, and it's a touchdown A&T. And I think this all comes back to the opening kick return of the second half.
Jones's kick is up, and it is up and in. And that's going to be 21 unanswered for the Aggies. 28-7, 10-16 remaining in the third quarter. Now put your coaching hat on, Chris. Coach Carter, what do you tell your team down 21 at home?
Well, again, we've talked about it. This is a tough game for the Hornets. This is a really good A&T team, and this is a young Hornets team. I think one of the things I talked about a lot against Central, you have to learn in these moments. Now, this game isn't out of reach. Now you're going to need a big-time momentum swing. Something needs to happen. And if I'm Coach Carter, I got to look everybody in the eyes who wants to make a play. Because this team needs, you see at the sideline, it doesn't look very inspired, the crowd. You need something to get everybody back into the football game. And it's going to start here. The kick coverage has not been great. You need to get Bryce and Aline some room, like they did down here when we had the little squib ball that didn't go out of bounds when it looked like it should have. Aline picked it up and was about one broken tackle away from maybe scoring a touchdown. Something like that, just something to get the momentum going. And I think if I'm Coach Carter, I'm looking for that guy. And you got to find a way to get it done on the ground is the next thing I would go to. The offensive line being pushed around. But down 21 points, I wouldn't be surprised here soon to see Coach Carter abandon the running game because the passing game has been effective. So there's a lot of different ways you can go, but I don't think you're quitting on this football game just yet. But the offense needs to get going, and the defense, obviously, we've talked about it a lot, got to find a way to grab on and hold to that monster wearing number 28.
Well, with 25 minutes, 16 seconds remaining in the regulation, 10 here, and another 15 in the fourth. Can't quit, can't necessarily throw away the game plan yet, but like I said, Chris, may see some more passes. Elaine will take it, trying to maybe make another big return, and he's just going backwards, and not much room there. Stopped on the play, David Pulliam.
And you see, Aline gets the ball, he takes about 3 steps forward, and he's got 3 white jerseys running at him. The kick coverage, quite frankly, has been awful in this game for Delaware State. Bryce and Aline has had 0 room to run other than on the one kick return that was a little skewy because, of the ball landing and not going out of bounds. I think that A&T probably was a little bit lax getting down the field. But when the kicks have been solid, Aline just had nowhere to go because A&T has gotten right down to him.
So Rivera will be in again, and it's going to be a keeper. He's looking for a man, has him. Looks like it's going to be Eris Scott. Tackled out of bounds by Lockhart.
And Rivera to Scott has been very effective today. The two of them have been in sync. Scott had 74 yards on 5 catches in the first half, and he's now up over 80 yards. So Eris Scott, I just think you got to go to the passing game right now and go to number 7.
And they'll go on this play. Looks like to Waters. Waters running. Tough to bring down. Gets past the 30 inside the 35. Knocked out of bounds. Nice run by your guy, Mike Waters, Chris.
Mike Waters continues to be the guy that just picking up yards. And I can't give it all to Bryce and Aline because when Aline's gotten the ball, there's been no blocking. And then all of a sudden, 25 comes in the game, and the Hornets are able to block well and give Waters some holes. I just think you got to go to 25 for whatever reason. He's getting the holes, and he's getting the yards.
So Waters will stay in the game at running back. He'll get it again, pretty much identical play, and he is stopped immediately. Pushing back, Justin Cates.
And that more along the lines of what Bryce and Aline's been dealing with when he's tried to run the ball. They've just been blown up front. And I appreciate Coach Carter's efforts trying to continue to run the ball. But eventually you've got to just turn it over to number 3 and say, hey, young man, it's your senior day. Take us home because the running game has really struggled. And I think Gil Rivera's got to be the man. He's got to throw it several times in this second half for the Hornets.
Keenan Black checks into the game at receiver. Had a block punt earlier on. So it's going to be a 2nd and 15 at the 29 for the Hornets. Under 8 to go, quarter number 3. Rivera is going to take it. Elaine has room this time, has some space, gets to the 50, makes a man turn around. He's going to go to the 30. He's going to get inside the 25. Chased out of bounds by number 48, Jeremy Taylor. And Chris, that was all Elaine right there.
Absolutely. Well, what happened was the Hornets had 4 receivers wide, no tight ends. A&T was betting the house that Delaware State was going to throw it, and Coach Carter did a great job there catching them off guard, went to his home run hitter, and Aline hit the hole quick and ran upfield for a huge gain. Delaware State's got to use deception if they're going to run the ball because man for man, they've been beat up in the running game.
49 yards for Elaine. That'll get the Hornets in a positive territory running the ball. Waters in the game. Another tackle there on the play by Taylor, and that'll get him to about the 15.
And
a
another
first down.
instance, they spread him out, 4 receivers wide, and they go right up the gut at him with the running game. That's when their running game's been effective. They spread him out and go north and south.
Hurry up offense on display here. First and goal at the 10-yard line. It's going to be a keeper by Rivera. Makes a man miss inside the 5. It's going to be stopped at about the 2. Let's see where they spot it. Maybe the 1.
Great run by Gil Rivera, and I'd love to see tempo here. The Hornets trying to get back to the line quickly. I wouldn't even – they're making calls. I would have just ran another read option at them really quickly.
McKnight on the stop. It's going to be a handoff inside. Touchdown, Hornets. It's Mike Waters. Drink your water, folks. Touchdown, Hornets.
And don't quit on us just yet. The Hornets, a big-time response there, and it was done in a big-time way through the ground. Here you see Mike Waters, the hesitation, and just makes a man miss and walks into the end zone. And so there you go, the Hornets with the response they needed. Now can the defense come up with a play? But again, as I said, don't quit on us, folks, just yet. The Hornets showing life here in the third quarter.
Kick sneaks in for Nazidi. Kick is good. Aggies 28, Hornets 14. And let's talk about that drive, Chris. Offensive coordinator. Got to be happy to see that, Coach Carter. Good play calls.
Well, I bashed the running game a lot, and that drive was pretty much all on the ground. But again, it started, they did a great job. They found something that might work for them. They went 4 receivers wide. They spread out A&T, and they ran it right up the middle, right at them, going north and south. That's where their running game has been the best today, and they went to it there, spread them out. Bryson Aline goes right up the gut, picks up a big gain, and then they go to Mike Waters on the same kind of play. And then Gil Rivera does a great job on the read option, really getting the ends to bite, and he goes around him and, of course, gets him to the 1. And then they go to their big man, Mike Waters, for the touchdown. But that drive was all about the running game. And I think that what happened was the threat of the pass got A&T. Rivera's been sharp today throwing the football. A&T was committed to stopping the pass on that drive. And the Hornets spread them out and attacked them right up the middle. Maybe we'll see more of that, but now the defense has to step up. If the defense can get a stop, we've got a football game because the Hornets have found it on the ground now, presumably, and the passing game's been good. The offense really has a chance to get going for the Hornets in this game.
Great point. Defense has to get a stop here. But got to give credit to that offense, 7-play drive, getting it done. And getting back to the running game, not abandoning it. Still plenty of time in this game. And you have another quarter remaining, and let's see what happens.
Yep, and it's going to start here at special teams. I think that touchdown resulted for North Carolina A&T on the opening kickoff because they didn't score, but they got great field position. They pinned Delaware State back and then got even better position and turned it into a touchdown. So field position going to be huge, and Nazidi with a pretty good kick.
Pretty good kick indeed, Chris. And it's returned indeed. He's going to be running, still running. It's going to be Deshaun McFadden. Big gain to the 25. Chris, what happened there?
Well, Deshaun McFadden turned into Darren McFadden right there really quick. Once again, the Hornets special teams letting them down. Just poor kick coverage, and I think that kick returns have really been a big story in this game. You know, the 2 kick returns for A&T in this half and the lack of kick returns for Delaware State. It's really been a struggle for the Hornets in the special teams, and now A&T and this dangerous offense going to get great field position for their third drive of the second half.
68-yard return. They will get the ball at the 25. Cohen not in the game at the moment. Bomero is going to look to take a shot. Steps up. He's going to keep it himself and taken down from behind on the play. Looks like it was Jacob Jones.
Excellent pressure there from Jones. Forced Bomero to step up and then chased him down from behind and was able to make the tackle. But a good job by Bomero to step up and get a few yards and turn it into a positive gain for A&T.
And Cohen will get it. He cuts back, has an alley, has a lane, and gets a big gain at the 5. He's going to be taken down at first and goal for the Aggies, tackled by Xavier Wilcher.
And there was the cutback again. Cohen saw the room, on the backside and just no discipline from the Hornet linebackers. Everybody trying to get over, and Cohen is at his most dangerous when that backside is open. The Hornets have not been disciplined in trying to stop the cutbacks from Cohen.
So it'll be 1st and goal, and Cohen runs left, finds a little bit of room, but he's going to get back to the line of scrimmage, and it's going to be a flag on the play.
And their penetration up the middle, it looked like Jones again with the penetration up the middle, forcing Cohen to the outside.
And with that last run Cohen had, that play will come back, but that last carry before that put Cohen over the 200-yard mark.
Joshua Maddox, the left guard, the man called for the holding there. And so now Cohen over 200 yards will be taken back. So he's going to have to get another couple of yards, but certainly close to it. But again, Jones had a good rush up the middle to force Cohen to the outside. Hornets got to keep him from cutting back.
So 1st and 15 for the Aggies, excuse me. But Merrill takes it. Quick throw. Short. Has him. It's a fumble. Ball's on the ground. Recovered by the Hornets. What a play there. Elijah Bell was the recipient. Fumble on the play. Brian Cavante with the recovery, Chris.
What a big-time play, and that is what the Hornets needed. That is the momentum shifter that they needed. Big-time play, and the Hornets going to be up against their own goal line. But, so this is where the running game, the power running game is going to need to come through. You're not going to fool them by spreading them out right now. They need to get good offensive line play to get them out of the shadow of their own goal line.
Well, they'll come out looking maybe to, let's see, in the shotgun. And North Carolina A&T looks like they're going to bring a lot of pressure. One safety in on the play.
Yeah, but a big-time momentum shifter there for the Hornets. Now can the offense take advantage of it?
They'll spot it at the 2, folks. Rivera will throw. Has time. Throwing deep. Eris Scott just a little too far out of his hands. And let's see what happens here. We got a flag on the play, folks.
And I like the play call there from Coach Carter. He knows that that's not where his running game has been at its strongest today. So he tries to fool him with a pass, and he had Scott deep. Might have been a pass interference. Not sure if Scott was being held on that left arm, but nonetheless, we've got a flag. We'll see who it's against.
When you got a big-time receiver like that, you got to throw him the ball deep multiple times a game. They may not always catch it, but you get times like this where you may get penalties and other transgressions on the defense.
Absolutely. We see it a lot when they throw it deep as we'll get the call.
Holding on defense. Looks like it was Zarius Lockhart, Chris.
Yep, and like you said, those are the things that can happen. You throw it deep to your big man, and the defense will react trying to make a stop. They commit a penalty, and just like that, you're out of the shadow of your own goal line. Now you can go back to maybe that spread them out game, trying to run it, and maybe some quick passes or some deep strikes. But things were really opening up for the Hornet offense, and this, I continue to say it, but this is a big drive to keep the momentum going now.
So 1st and 10, ball will be moved. Looks like it's going to be spotted at the 12. So Elaine tries to find room, but not much room against that A&T defense. Melton the first one, along with Ragland on the play to stop Elaine.
Gil Rivera's coming off the field now. I think that the Hornets are going to go
Little
back to that Wildcat formation with Keenan Black at the quarterback.
Little Wildcat formation as sun begins to set here in Alumni Stadium. Daylight saving times last week. But let's see what they do with Black here. It's going to be a power right. Tries to get a room and stopped again by Ragland. Boy, is he all over the field. But sets up a 3rd and a little more manageable, Chris.
Yeah, Coach Carter doing everything he can to try and get this running game going in some form or fashion. And now here he goes with the Wildcat trying to get it going. But now about a 3rd and 7, so a lot to ask here.
And it's going to be a hand off, and he's going to be tripped up immediately. And stopped on the play by McKnight.
And so you pretty much saw the same thing there from the Hornet offense, just another power right.
Waters, not much room there. And it'll bring on the punting.
So not what you wanted there from the Hornet offense, but they get out of the shadow of their own goal line. Now Romo Martinez has a chance to send out a good punt, and maybe you can get field position back going in your favor if you're Delaware State.
4 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Martinez with a high towering punt. It's going to be out of bounds. So let's see where they spot that. They'll probably spot it at the, let's see. They're going to spit it close to the 50. Looks like the 48-yard line.
And I'm wondering if maybe there was a scouting report on Chris Garden, the punt returner for A&T, because they have not punted to him but once today, I believe. Barely gone to him. They've punted a ton out of bounds. They're trying their best to avoid sending him the football. It appears that way because even when there's not pressure for a blocked punt, Romo Martinez has sent it out of bounds, and now the Hornets defense once again up against it with the field position.
So 1st and 10 at the 48 for Bamaro and his offense. Cohen not on the field here. And there he is in motion, excuse me. And it's going to be a handoff to the backup running back on the play, Markel Cartwright. So decent gain of about 5 on the play.
A&T trying to get Cohen involved in more ways, lined him up in the slot, and they sent him in motion, trying to create room for Cartwright. Cartwright worked to an extent, got about 7 yards on the play. So when you have a guy like Tariq Cohen, you can use him in a multitude of ways, even if it's to get other guys more opportunities.
Cohen in motion. Let's see if they throw it to him. It's going to be a double screen and intended for Elijah Bell, who fumbled on the last reception he had.
And that was probably the most aggressive I've seen this Hornet defensive line in the football game. They jumped off the ball in a hurry and got pressure on Bamiro and forced him to get rid of it quickly and took away the screen to Tariq Cohen. They had penetration on that left side in a big way.
Definitely great job by the D-line there. And 3rd and 3. Let's see if the Hornets get off the field. Draw, Cohen. And let's see where they spot it. He may look like he's a little short. Let's see what they give him the spot.
I definitely think he's short, but I also definitely think A&T might be going for it. The offense still on the field. And
So they marked it 4th and about inches.
And so the Hornets going to have to keep their eyes on number
And we
28.
got a timeout here by A&T. Let's see what they do.
Yeah, they're going to talk this one over. And I'm curious as to what we're going to see coming out of the timeout. Obviously, you have a big-time weapon in Tariq Cohen. Do you try and be clever and try and get it to him, in a different way? Do you use him as a decoy and go to Cartwright? Or do you just flat out line up in an I formation and give it to your best player and let him create and get this half a yard or so? So I'm very, curious to see what A&T decides to do.
What would you do here?
If I were A&T,
Yeah.
I'd line up and give it to him. I wouldn't try and be cute. I wouldn't use him as a decoy. He's probably the best player in the conference, and I wouldn't mess around with it at all. I would give him the football and ask him to create the half yard because the Hornets have shown no real ability to consistently stop him. So I would line up and hand it right to him.
Well, on defense, what can you do to stop a guy like that on such short yardage?
Well, the defensive line, they're going to have to show that aggressiveness and the penetration they showed on the double screen we saw a couple of plays ago. They're going to need to be aggressive and win up front.
I formation. Fullback dive again. He's got it and more. He's still running. He's got speed. 20, 15, 10. One man to beat. Touchdown, Aggies. Just like that on the fullback dive, Chris.
The effect of Tariq Cohen coming into play.
42 yards for McMahon.
The Cohen swings out to the right, and the Hornets bite that way, looking for the toss, and they go to Cartwright up the middle, and that's not a bad play design, I would say. Tariq Cohen will do that to you. The defense had their eyes focused on him, and A&T beat the Hornets with somebody else.
Jones in to attempt the extra point. It is good. So just like that, Aggies with a touchdown on 4th and short. Extend their lead 35-14, and that has to be heartbreaking for the Hornet defense.
Yeah, that's a demoralizing one. If you're Delaware State, after you score the touchdown, you get the fumble recovery, and the momentum seems to be going your way, and North Carolina A&T is able to turn it around. So I think that The Hornets now, this hole's even deeper now than it was before for the simple fact that you had gotten the momentum, you had gotten the game going your way. And North Carolina A&T did what a great team does. They snatched it back. And so the Hornets now with their work cut out for them. But special teams, really, we talk about how much Coach Carter has done with the special teams and how good of a job he's done getting this special teams better than they were last year. But it's really hurt them in this one. A&T has won the field position battle a ton here in this second half, and it's been the reason the Hornets haven't been able to crawl back into this game.
2:48 remaining in the third quarter. Still in the third quarter, much like the first quarter. A lot going on in the one quarter. And the Hornets will reset again on offense with the lane setting the return. Bounces, takes it in at the 10, runs left, tries to get upfield. Got a flag on a play. This could be coming back.
Yeah, it looked like there was a holding going on. Couldn't see who it was, but it looked like there was a hold going on. Now we've got another flag thrown in late. Yeah, I definitely think this one, though, is going to be a holding on the Hornets, and the special teams, again, continuing to kind of bite them in the rear end in this football game.
Definitely not what you need. And another penalty sets you back yard.
Brock Nichols, the man getting the holding call, and so that will back the Hornets up, and once again they will start inside their own 20-yard line. They're going to start with this one around the 10-yard line, so work to do again for the Hornets.
Hornets have to find something to get some sort of momentum back in this game, still with a little bit over 17 minutes remaining in regulation. Rivera still in. A lane will be to his right in the gun. Rivera drops the throw. Pressure coming. Throws it to a lane, and he caught that after being pummeled immediately. Good job there by Lane to hang on to the ball.
Wow, that was dangerous. I can't believe he's gotten up. I mean, that was a big hit right to the head, and I can't necessarily blame the defender because Elaine was so low trying to make the catch. It was just a big hit and a dangerous one.
Gain of 9. And Elaine will get it again. He tries to cut outside, cuts inside, and he'll get the first down. Tripped up on a play by Julian Reynolds.
Yeah, Julius Reynolds, a good job there hitting the hole, and that's the kind of gap assignment that we have not seen from the Hornet linebackers. There was a hole there for Elaine, and Reynolds jumped into it and would not allow Elaine to get a big gain.
So it'll be 1st and 10. Ball will go to the 21-yard line. Hornets trail 35-14. Under 2 minutes remaining in quarter number 3. It's going to be another run for Elaine, and he's got nowhere to go. Tackled on a play by Justin Cates.
Yeah, these zone stretch kind of east and west runs are just not working for the Hornets. The defensive line for the A&T are just swallowing up Bryson Elaine whole. And it's just surprising to me that Coach Carter and this offense hasn't recognized it, that their running north and south has been effective. It's when they've gone east and west that they've not only been ineffective, but they've lost yards.
Speaking of loss of 1 on the play. Rivera dropping a throw, looking for Godnetta, underthrown. And we're under 1 minute remaining here in quarter number 3.
Yeah, I don't know if that was an underthrow or just a miscommunication. On those kind of plays, you got to be in sync, quarterback and receiver, and I think maybe Godinette might have went a little bit deeper into the route than Rivera expected him to, because Rivera not typically that inaccurate on that kind of throw.
So it'll be 3rd and long, 3rd and 11 with 1 minute remaining in quarter number 3. Hornets not converting many 3rd downs today. And we'll get a stoppage in play. Looks like it may be a timeout. Stoppage in play. We'll reset for 3rd down and 11 at the 20. Hornets only 1 3rd down conversion so far today. Aggies look to bring pressure. It is pressure. It's going to be a sack on the play by Angelo Keys, brother of Denzel Keys, linebacker. And he got blitzed, little stunt there.
Yeah, you beat me to it. They ran a stunt. Keys came around off the edge and right up the middle and just flat out took the Delaware State offensive line to school. They had Gil Rivera had no chance all of a sudden getting that big man, excuse me, big man Angelo Keys right up in his face. Rivera had no chance there on the long third down.
Loss of 10 on the play. And it'll be a punt from the Hornets with Garden back to
We
the
got a
punt.
flag back here. Looks like, I don't know if it fell out of the referee's pocket. The only thing I could imagine is that we have 12 men on the field for A&T. No.
5-yard penalty. 4th down.
So it's going to be a delay of game call, which will back Martinez and the rest of the special teams unit back.
Well, now the refs are going to talk it over. Not sure if there was a clock malfunction, it didn't reset or something along those lines, but the referee's going to talk it over. That seemed pretty quick to me to be a delay of game.
There's no delay of game on the play. There's malfunction with the play clock.
So it looks like that was malfunction with the play clock, Chris. Add that to something you don't see every day here, calling Hornet football.
Yep, another one of those flags that was a phantom flag, another picked up call.
As you said, it looks like it just fell out of his pocket. Martinez's punt. Garden's going to have a chance, Chris. He's going to run right. Thankfully, he's tripped up immediately by Sika Bendoff on the play.
Sika, one of the twins on the Hornet football team, and he made a big-time play there. And Chris Garden, a guy that the Hornets have appeared to be kicking away from, but they didn't on that kickoff return. And Sika makes it come through for the Hornets. Finally, a good big-time special teams play from the Hornets. Probably the first one we've seen since that punt block. And one of the things I noticed here on the sideline, Epperson's got his helmet on and is warming up. So I think Daniel Epperson might be getting ready to come in at quarterback. Another quarterback change between the two here for the Hornets looks like is upcoming.
Well, 35-14, Aggies get the ball back at the 45. Two running backs set in the gun. Yeah, it's going to be a missed sack and a shot way down the field is going to fall short. But Bomero deceptively making guys miss at the quarterback position.
Yeah, Bomero pulling out his Eli Manning impression, slipping away from a defender and heaving it up deep, but unable to connect on the other end of it. But there the Hornets do a good job getting pressure, and that's the key to disrupting any passing game, is get pressure on the quarterback and rattle him. Of course, Bomero, a good runner, though, which makes it a little bit more difficult. He can pick up those yards with his legs.
Well, this may be the last play of the third quarter, folks. Second and 10 to 45, 6 seconds remaining. Quarter number 3, it will be. And it'll go to Mr. Cohen himself. And he'll just take the contact, Chris, and not force himself to go out of bounds. And that'll be how the third quarter ends. We'll switch sides. A&T will have the ball on the way back in, leading 35-14, Chris.
Yeah, Cohen, not your average 5'6" runner. He's not afraid of contact there, and you saw he ran to the edge. And rather than just going out of bounds, he ran forward and took the punishment to grab that extra yard and a half or two. And so the Hornets, it was a great start to the third quarter outside of that opening kick return. Defense gets the 3 and out, and then things kind of went south there. A&T got to stop, good field position, turned it into a touchdown, and then the Hornets turned the momentum back around. This game has had plenty of momentum shifts. The problem for the Hornets is A&T's momentum lasted the longest in this game as they went on that 28 to nothing run, and that's now got them up 35-14 and with the football. But again, the Hornets, these are the situations, a young football team, you've got to learn. Again, obviously you're still trying to win. Defense can make you stop. Anything can happen. You can get momentum. But these are the situations you learn from. These are the situations that turn programs like ours here at Delaware State into better programs. You learn from these moments. And a young team, 48 freshmen on the roster. Not going to be a lot of turnover, only 6 graduating seniors. And so the guys that they're looking around at now are going to be a lot of the same faces they're looking at next season. And they need to gel, they need to work together and get something positive to happen here in this fourth quarter on both sides of the ball. And it would be big to slow down Tariq Cohen here in this fourth quarter.
So 3rd and 5 at the 45 for Aggies. First play of quarter number 4. Leading 35-14. Romero's going to take a shot to Keys. Down the field, almost bought it in with one hand and knocked away on the play by Keon Selby.
Good coverage down the field there again from Selby. He's done a pretty solid job on Keys in this game. But the NCA&T showing plenty of aggressiveness. Broadway and this offense really being aggressive, even with a backup quarterback. They're on 3rd and 5. You have Tariq Cohen, arguably the best player in the conference, and they elect to throw it deep.
With a 35-14 lead, but the Hornets will get the ball back, and we'll get a look at their offense yet again. Rutherford back deep at the 10, and we'll get a flag on the play. Looks like it's going to be a 5-yard penalty, delay of game.
And this seems a little more realistic. This one seems like a real delay of game, but might not be the worst thing in the world for A&T. Give your punter a little bit more room to get away the punt and try and pin them deep. You know, some punters will tell you can be too close and can make it a little bit difficult to angle a good punt and pin them deep. So that may have been an intentional delay of game, but no less, we'll see what happens here.
Hornets bring pressure, and that's going to be a horrible punt. Let's see where they spotted that. And another flag.
It's 49 and 20. Oh, we got 20 and 36.
And we got players tangled up and tensions running high.
A little bit of extracurricular activities going on there around the 30, 25-yard line as the flag comes in. But you said it, that was just a bad punt there from A&T's punter, Steve Sawicki. Sent it up high, but it didn't go very far. And the Hornets could get decent field position depending on who this flag goes against.
Let's see what the refs call here on that flag. We're listening to Ann Troy Singleton's call.
During the kick, got a personal foul, hands to the face, number 40 of the kicking team. That penalty will be added to the end of the kick. Delaware State keeps the ball, first down, timeout.
So we'll get a stoppage in play, and another fortunate play for the Hornets as the hands to the face from the Aggies special teams.
And again, early on in the game, we saw the penalties, undisciplined penalties, helping the Hornets. Pass interference on what ended up being an interception, some block in the backs on a punt return, and now here another punt. And this time it's of the personal foul variety, and it is going to allow the Hornets an extra 15 yards. And so a good opportunity here for the Hornets offense. If you can get a quick strike, hey, you never know. One of the things I would like to see if the Hornets do get a score, what about a surprise onside kick? Line up in a regular, formation. You see it sometimes in the NFL. And then just send a ZD instead of kicking the bottom of the ball. You kick the top of the ball, and maybe, you get something, you make something happen. You can recover it and turn momentum in this game. Coach Carter something like that's got to start creeping into Coach Carter's mind. But obviously the offense has to execute here, and it's going to start with Daniel Epperson in at quarterback now.
Well, I wanted to talk about that after this play, but the influx at quarterback, and you talk about a team that's winless this year, only one win last year. I think the biggest question is, moving forward, quarterback position after this play. I'll get your opinion on that, Chris. It's going to be a throw from Rutherford, and it's going to be intercepted immediately by number 52, Keandrick Richardson. And right on cue, Chris, hate to be right, but the quarterback position has to be addressed this offseason by Coach Carter, because I don't see this team progressing winning a lot of games without consistent play at the quarterback.
Yeah, Daniel Epperson, to me, I don't know that he's really panned out in the way that Coach Carter wanted him to. He was the starter for much of the season, and then they brought in Gil Rivera towards the end of the season, maybe recognizing he was a senior. Season's kind of getting away from him. You bring in the senior for a spark. You called the game last year. The one win the Hornets had last season, Kobe Lane started and was pretty impressive in the game. And we have not seen him nearly as much this season as we thought we would. I think Kobe Lane is a guy that, that's got to get more of a look, but I don't get to see him in practice like Coach Carter does.
You're right about that. And Aggies are still throwing here. And it's going to be a reception in a big game for Garden. And they're staying aggressive, Chris. But like you said, to your point, is the quarterback even on this roster maybe?
And I don't know. I don't know what's in Coach Carter's head. I genuinely believed Kobe Lane, the impressive performance he put up. He actually came in the game last year at North Carolina A&T and played pretty impressively. The Hornets put up a good fight against last year's A&T team and obviously came home, got the win. So like I say, I expected Kobe Lane to be the guy, but Coach appears to have a belief in Daniel Epperson.
And it's going to be a quick throw underneath to Xavier Griffin. But as you said, Chris, quarterback position needs to be addressed. I like Lane, ability to throw and run, but got to stay healthy too. And let's see what Coach Carter does. This is his first recruiting class, 48 freshmen, so this class will determine a lot about the future of this team.
Right, absolutely, and about his future as the coach of the team. And Daniel Epperson, another one of his recruits, he's a junior college transfer, and he's been getting his opportunity this season. And I just personally haven't been impressed with the way this offense moves the ball when he's a quarterback.
It's going to be another throw here and another catch by Garden. But as you said, Rivera will be gone. He's a senior. He'll be left with Lane and Epperson as the two quarterbacks on the roster, so they'll probably bring someone else in.
Yeah, and you look at some other teams in the conference. You look here at this team, A&T, they've got Lamar Raynard, who's a redshirt sophomore, a guy who we haven't seen today. We're not sure what exactly is up with that. And then here you got the backup, Bamiro, and he's been pretty good in this game. He's been pretty impressive as the backup.
And it'll be a short gain on the play by Cartwright. But as you were saying, got to have at least one guy you can say put the ball in his hands and have faith.
And last week, the guy that came here, Malcolm Bell, that started for North Carolina Central, he was the first-team All-MEAC selection at quarterback. Guess who the top two teams are in the MEAC? This team's got a pretty good sophomore, and we're seeing now a pretty good backup. And the other team, in the mix for it, North Carolina Central, has arguably the best quarterback in the conference. You said the quarterback position is absolutely the first thing that Coach Carter needs to address. If they can find that guy, I think that there are pieces here for this team. I don't think the rest of the roster is, unmanageable.
Keys fading back. Try with one hand. That would have been a spectacular play. And pass knocked away.
But you continue to see that the trust that Coach Broadway and this offensive staff has in Bamiro, despite being the backup. They continue to give him the ball, give him the opportunities, and he's made some good decisions, made some good throws. And, he's been effective, and he's really led A&T to this lead as we've kind of seen a less and less of Tariq Cohen.
And a fumble snap taken down immediately. They're going to mark it as the ball still live and recovered by A&T. But
Daryl Mack on the recovery, but Mack needed to recover it because that was just a flat-out poor snap, and one that Bamiro couldn't come up with. And the Hornets, a little bit unfortunate, to not be able to jump on the football.
Well, Chris, you talked about the defense. Defense hasn't played horrible. Besides the 3 or 4 big runs from, of course, Cohen and some big plays here and there, they've been pretty solid group. What are you looking forward to them moving forward?
Yeah, well, a guy like Tariq Cohen, they're done with him after this. The conference after these next couple of games will not have to deal with Tariq Cohen.
44-yard attempt is good.
Cody Jones probably would have been good from about 50 there. That was a pretty
impressive kick.
Yeah, absolutely. But I just think that the Hornets team as a whole needs just an upgrade, needs to be better more consistently because we see flashes from every phase. We saw the punt block in this game. We've seen the special teams vastly improved over last season. But games like today, they have lapses. We saw a punt return given up last week against Central. We saw the 2 big returns in the second half from A&T in this half. Those kind of things can happen. On defense, we see sometimes they look exceptional. Malik Harris flying all over the field. Gary Melton making plays in the secondary. And the defensive line today has just been flat out stalled out. They've had a couple of plays where they've looked good, but the offensive line, for the most part, has pushed them around. They need to get better up front. And offensively, we see some drives. I think the play calling has been part of the problem because there are drives and plays where this team looks exceptional, and then other times where the play calling is very questionable. I think some of the decisions to run the ball as much as they have in plays that they have has been questionable because it hasn't been there today. I just think this football team needs to all around be more consistent and feed off of each other, play more complementary football like we see out of the Dallas Cowboys. They know what they are. Defense struggles, but they run the ball well, and they keep the defense off the field. This team hurts itself and hurts other units. You just saw the interception there returned for a big gain, and A&T turns it into points. They just have not fed off of each other in the way that good football teams do.
So it'll be a kick to a lane. See if the Hornets can maybe put together at least some more points on the board as fans do begin to file out of Alumni Stadium. The lane fights inside to about 25.
Pretty good return there from Aline, but I mean that's the thing, like everything feeds off of each other, and the Hornets special teams hasn't been great today, and they put their defense in bad spots, they put their offense in bad spots, and it's resulted in this game that really I feel like they could have won this game or been much more competitive, and the special teams really didn't give them any great chances on offense or defense to be successful, and it's hurt them a lot in this game.
11:25 remaining. They'll come out in the gun, and it'll be a handoff to Waters, and he has nowhere to go as Marquise Ragland takes him down. And the Hornets still sticking with the run here as we're under 11 minutes remaining in regulation.
And kind of hoping to see Gil Rivera be the quarterback for these last 11 minutes, his final game here at Alumni Stadium.
And let's see what the Hornets do here on offense. They're going to hand it to Waters again. And you kind of wonder if Coach Carter's conceding the game a little bit.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's just the running game has not been there very much at all today. They've just struggled going east and west, which is where this team likes to run. They like the zone stretch kind of runs from the shotgun and get one-cut guys to hit the hole. There just hasn't been any today, and they've really struggled.
So that's set up 3rd and 9. Approach 10 minutes remaining. Oh, 10 on the play clock. Just get the play off, and Rivera will throw. Intercepted. He threw that one to Keandrick Richardson. Richardson's 2nd interception of the day, Chris.
And Richardson all of a sudden turning this into a pretty good statistics day for him with the 2nd interception. I don't know if he's invisible to our quarterbacks or what, but those are 2 throws that have gone flat out right to him. Epperson just didn't see him and just delivered it right to him, and there Rivera, same kind of thing, just didn't see him. And that's is exactly what I'm talking about, complementary football. Special teams doesn't do a bad job, but then the offense gets it, and they throw 2 interceptions and just put their defense in a big hole. And this game has, if it hadn't before, it's officially slipped away from the Hornets.
Nail in the proverbial coffin of the Hornets in their home season. And Bomero will just keep it himself. Runs inside the 20 to about the 10. Barrett on the stop.
And Bomero showing that dual threat ability that he has. He's been solid throwing the ball today, and he's been very effective running the ball. He's been smart about his decisions on when to run the ball. I mean, he's really kept this Hornets defense on their heels. And I think we've seen about enough about the end of Tariq Cohen today. He's going to be helping heading into next week for NC Central.
Oh, looking at that game next week, and we got a touchdown. Second touchdown of the day from Markel Cartwright. And they put up a 40. Over 300 yards rushing on the day for the Aggies.
And Markel Cartwright may be the exact opposite of Tariq Cohen. He's a physical guy. He's a stocky guy, and he welcomes contact. He will run you over, and he's just a sophomore, so he's the future of the program at running back. And I would say with what we've seen from him today, NC A&T will not miss very much of a beat at the running back position. Of course, you can't replace the all-time rushing leader in the history of the MEAC conference, but Cartwright's going to have those shoes to fill, and if today's any preview of it, Cartwright's got a pretty bright future for the next 2 seasons for the A&T Aggies.
Definitely will be interesting to see what happens. Like I said, with the Hornets, I guess you hope you have the coach, you have a strong recruit class, 48 freshmen. Questions at quarterback. What are some of the things you think this team may need to do to at least get a win? I guess looking next week will be the next opportunity. Last game of the season is always Howard. That's always a fun game.
Yep.
Howard's been much improved this year. What are some of the things you're going to look for in that game?
Well, I mean, obviously North Carolina A&T is the measuring stick of this conference. They're the best team in this conference. And I think the Hornets showed glimpses, in flashes, which we've seen a lot of throughout this season, showing flashes of being able to contend, and they've just been unable to sustain it. And we saw last year in that hotly contested Howard game, they struggled early, and Colby Lane led them on the comeback. I just think up front has really been the big problem in special teams for them today. They've been pushed around in the trenches on the offensive and defensive line, and the special teams has kind of hung them out to dry, both on offense and defense. So if those two things improved, they could have a chance, to pull off that first win of the season again next year. But it's certainly going to be a battle next week because the Hornets will be hungry to get that win. They were very hungry last year, and I expect the same this week.
Sadly, this game will be on the road, but Lane on a return here. Runs past the 20, tries to cut back at about the 25.
And the special teams, as far as return-wise, has done a little bit better of a job in these past couple of opportunities. They've got now past the 20 and up close to the 25. But yeah, I think that up front is really where they've been beaten badly by A&T. I think that's where you've seen the difference between these two teams, that and Tariq Cohen. But up front has really been where A&T has taken advantage of Delaware State, and it's shown. It's shown in the statistics of the running game.
First and 10 at 25, 9:14 remaining in regulation. Lane is a running back in. He'll get it here. Runs and maybe gets a gain of 1.
And you just continue to see it. The defensive line from A&T beating up the offensive line from Delaware State. And Aline and Waters have not had very much room to run. And the stats might lie a little bit because they had that one drive where the running game was really huge. But outside of that, they have been minimal yards to gain for the running game.
Good point there. And that's going to be a little shovel pass to Isaiah Williams. Isaiah Williams looks like he could be a mainstay at tight end. Maybe we'd like to see him involved in the offense more. But you lose a guy like Eric Scott, probably your number one receiver.
Yeah.
How do you replace that?
Yeah, well, it's going to be difficult for this team, and I don't know if that, the replacement is on the roster because Rutherford and Godinet are more slot guys than they are outside guys like Eric Scott. Scott, their big guy, over 6 foot. Neither Rutherford or Godinet measure up to Scott's size, and they're going to need to replace that more than anything.
So it'll be 3rd and 2. Rivera back to throw. Little circle route screen to Lane inside. Past the 50. Little wheel route. But as you said, they have a lane in place. You have Waters. Quarterback little question mark there. You have Rutherford. You have, Godinet, who's played well in Williams. So let's see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, offensively the weapons are there, and I think Aline's a guy that today is the kind of example where the Hornets, Coach Carter needs to evaluate how can we get a running game without handing it right off. You could go screen, short passes, things like this option play.
40 made the tackle.
And while they didn't get much, there are ways to get your running backs and your home run hitter like Elaine the ball in space when the running game, itself is not working. You can go with screen plays. You can put him in a slot and run a wide receiver screen to him. So there are ways to get him the ball, and I think that Coach Carter needs to evaluate that in ways to get him the ball.
1st and 10 there. Scott, another reception on the play. Strong hands of Scott, but, well, I look at this offensive line. I know running the football or protect the quarterback starts with the O-line. Left side, 2 freshmen. You have Mangoni. He'll be gone, so you'll probably get a new center, 5 freshmen. And you have 2 sophomores on the right side. So young O-line.
Yeah, and it's great. You see the best offensive lines in football are the ones that stay together for a while.
Yep.
These guys are going to be together for 3 years. In a couple of years, I really expect this offensive line to flourish.
And Rutherford breaks the tackle. Moves to the 30. Stiff arms a man. And
20, was that 24? 24 forced them out.
But that's, you talk about it, the Giants. The Giants are probably the first team I think of when they won those 2 Super Bowls against the Patriots. That offensive line had played together for a long time, and it was very, very effective. And I think Coach Carter has that in mind with these guys up front. Let them play together for a long time. Let them grow together, and you might have some cohesiveness and can turn into a very good offensive line for the future and for hopefully their future quarterback, whoever he may be and wherever he may be playing at right now.
45-14, 6:34 remaining in regulation. Ball will be spotted at the 29 for the Hornets.
Clock stopped.
So we got a man down.
Yep, it's 20. I think it's 24. He was the one that got.
It's like Lorenz Suttles down on the play.
He was slow to get up over here on the sidelines, and look, of course, now we see why. Something obviously bothering him.
Well, whoever does win the MEAC, they're going to have to play a team in the Celebration Bowl. I think we were talking a little bit earlier about the SWAC conference. They have a tight race going on.
Yep.
Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, Grambling State and Southern both 6-0. The Southwest Conference, they break it up into 2 divisions, so they have a conference championship game. And right now, I believe it's their Western Division, Grambling State and Southern, both 6-0 in the conference. They meet in 2 weeks, the Saturday after Thanksgiving, November 26th. That battle will go down. Of course, next week we have the one in North Carolina. And if
Battle
you
for
live,
North Carolina.
Yeah, if you live in North Carolina, you're going to have A&T against Central. And it's going to be a battle. Both of these teams came here the past 2 weeks, and were pretty impressive. Malcolm Bell, arguably the best quarterback in the conference. By the way, folks, Central has pulled away from Howard. It's 30-15, just under 3 minutes to go in that game. So both of those teams, A&T and Central, will be undefeated in the conference heading into that game. That could be a fun one. But Malcolm Bell's going to have his work cut out for him against this defense, the quarterback for Central, trying to keep up with Tariq Cohen. I think Cohen's going to get a lot more touches in that game than he has today.
Safe to say, I'm willing to bet that in. We'll get a stoppage and play, probably false start. But battle for North Carolina, that'll be interesting to see. Got star power all around that game. And at North Carolina Central, right?
Yes.
And we know they turn off their sports.
And they won their game last year. They were able to beat A&T and ended up being a 3 or 4 team tie. Donnybrook up at the top of the MEAC, and A&T was able to hold the tiebreaker and went to the Celebration Bowl. This year it's the 2 teams, and they're going to go at it, and they're going to decide it on the field, and Central has the confidence of beating A&T last season.
Rivera back to throw, steps up, nowhere to go. He's being chased, and he'll just take it himself. Gets to the 30, brought down by Darrell Johnson Jr., but definitely MEAC can ask for much more, much exciting regular season race.
Yep, and this A&T team is very, very good. They are ranked 10th in the coaches poll in the FCS, so they are a very good football team. And they're a team that likely you'd probably see in the FCS playoffs, if not for that Celebration Bowl.
So 45-14, 5:30 remaining in regulation, 2nd and 11 for the Hornets. Rivera back to throw, steps up, has a man. It's going to be caught by Rutherford.
And that's when Gil Rivera is at his best. When you give him time in the pocket, he can find the open man, and there he delivers the strike to Mason Rutherford over the middle, and it's a first down for the Hornets. So Rivera, as his career winds down here at Alumni Stadium, I think if the Hornets O-line can play better next week, give him some time, they'll have a great chance to beat Howard.
That'll be 1st and 10 at the 21. It'll be a fake, Rivera does. He makes 2 men miss and gets back to the line of scrimmage.
And 48, Jeremy Taylor was in the backfield immediately on Rivera, and I would have to think that was by design, Rivera, to keep that, because there's no other reason he should have kept that rather than hand it off to Aline. But he did a good job hitting the spin button and able to get back to the line of scrimmage, and no gain's got to feel like a 4 or 5 yard gain there for Gil Rivera.
Under 5 to play in regulation, and we'll get a timeout first of the half for the Hornets.
And one of the things you see today, you see Coach Carter, he's got those camouflage pants on, salute to service day at Alumni Stadium. The NFL, they're doing that as well. They've got a couple of weeks of salute to service, and just wanted to, with Veterans Day just passing, I personally, sure you would go with me, Byron, thank you to all of our veterans, everybody who has fought, is fighting, or will fight for our great country, and allow us to come here on Saturdays and watch Delaware State University football. And, of course, tomorrow we get to watch some NFL football. But, again, just thank you to those veterans and all that they do for us in our country.
Great insert there, Chris. Definitely feel the same way. And here today, like I said, get to watch MEAC football. But Hornets team, I mean, they have played hard. You've seen some improvements from last year.
Yeah.
Special teams has gotten better, but still some improvements that need to be made. And I think it starts with, having the crowd out here too, feeding off that home crowd. We saw even at homecoming. They fed off the crowd. They didn't necessarily win the game, but feeding off that home crowd and knowing that they're here supporting them helped their morale a little bit.
Yeah, and, and I think that you also have to, in that game they played pretty well, and you give the crowd something to cheer about. This place at times would be full. I mean, homecoming, this place was loud and it was full, and they need to give fans a reason to come out here. I mean, and that's the fact of the matter, and I think they know that. They need to give people a reason to come out here, and if they do that, then this place can get loud, and we can be like the other teams in the conference that, can feed, our home crowd can feed the rest of the football team. But, I think Coach Carter's is working on it. I think, he understands that this is a work in progress, and that's why there's 48 freshmen on the roster. He wasn't trying to go 11-0 this season. He understood what this team was, and and that they have work to do, and they're taking their lumps this year. But 48 freshmen, you hope the key is next year. If they learn from it, and do they get better? Do they progress? And I think that's when we're going to find out a lot about the job that Coach Carter's doing.
Like I said, a lot of his job will be judged off of this first class. He's got a wide open lane and just overthrow him, does Rivera. But he was pressured crazy on that play, and he's still down. And he's slow to get up, but he's going to get helped up by his teammates as Patrick brought the pressure to the linebacker. But
yeah, he knows he had a lean, but with the pressure in his face, he was just throwing it and hoping that it was accurate. But again, A&T just continues to beat Delaware State up front. They bring the pressure, and Rivera didn't have time, and so now it's going to be 4th and 11, and the Hornets are going to go for it, try and get some quote-unquote garbage time points. But those are the things you can do. You can get a lean out of the backfield, and he can get open.
Let's see what the Hornets do here. Rivera drops the throw. He's going to throw left towards Scott. He tips it up and tips it to himself. What a play there. Scott heading the 5. For what it's worth, that's a great play. He tipped it to himself.
Did he? I don't know if he did or if the defender on the play, Tamadre Abram, tipped it up. I don't know. I couldn't see. It was, there's multiple hands going on there. But credit to Gil Rivera. He had pressure in his face. He stood in and delivered it despite the hit. And it affected the throw, but Scott was able to come up with it.
Elaine will run and cut back. Nowhere to go. Man, this A&T defensive line. I don't know. I know
Yeah.
Cohen gets a lot of credit,
Yeah.
but his D-line has played well.
Absolutely, and I mean that's exactly what we've seen today. Elaine runs it, gets it, and runs parallel with the line of scrimmage, and the contain on the edges by North Carolina A&T. They've blown up the tackles, and Elaine's had no way to get outside, and they end up losing 4 or 5 yards on the play, and they just have not run north and south as much as I feel like they've needed to in this game.
So it'll be second and goal from the 9. Rivera throws inside. It's taken away.
9 made the interception.
And just like that, the hopes and dreams are taken away by Zarius Lockhart.
Yeah, I think Rivera was trying to fit that one into Rutherford, and Lockhart was there to make the play. He was all over it. Good zone coverage there in the red zone. Zone coverage can be very tough to beat. And, you hear guys talk about it. Some coordinators have routes that beat man. They have routes that beat zone. And sometimes they just have routes. And slant route is designed to beat man coverage. And A&T was in zone coverage there. And Rutherford just ran right into an A&T zone. And Lockhart was there to intercept it. And Rivera, unfortunately, was unable to recognize it. And so now we will see if A&T just runs it and runs out the rest of this clock.
17, the new quarterback.
So we'll get another quarterback in the game for A&T. Looks like Isaiah Hickman, wide receiver / quarterback. And we'll get a timeout first. They'll
Yeah.
probably just run out the clock.
Yeah, a little bit of confusion there. You had a man run on to the field late, and so A&T decides to take the timeout. But like I said, we will see if they probably just going to run it here however many times, however long they have the ball to run the clock out. But there's a few minutes left here. Final, streaming of the football games here at Alumni Stadium. And, boy, there have been some moments, though, back against Monmouth, down 27-0. That team came out electric and fired up for that second half against Monmouth. And then the start against Florida A&M on homecoming was a good one. So there have been moments for this Hornet team. And Coach Carter, now his job now is to put those moments together and get this team to be able to do them for 4 quarters of action.
We shall see. Time will tell as we'll get a run here by Hicklin, who just kept it himself. And first down on the play as we're at 3 minutes remaining. As you said, Chris, there's been some moments that we can say, hey, it's a high point. Some moments where they played hard, they haven't given up, but just times where they've looked, you can tell the disparity of talent just isn't there yet. And development of the freshmen is what comes to play.
Yeah, and that's what it's all about. It's about developing these freshmen. I think Coach Carter, knows that. He understands that. He would tell us that he's trying to develop these freshmen, getting young guys in, getting guys like Isaiah Williams, Mike Waters, some time on the field. And, and we're going to see, the fruits of that labor hopefully come to fruition next year for this Hornet football team and in the years to come.
Hicklin keeps it again.
58 made the tackle. 58 made the tackle.
And one thing we can talk about here past these next couple of minutes, basketball season coming up. We're going to start doing some basketball games, and that was a team kind of like our football team. They were kick off their season. They just won last night. And, again, that's a young team, though, but they have their experience. They took their lumps last year, and we're going to see what they do this season.
Definitely, we'll see. It'll be interesting here in the MEAC basketball-wise. I don't think there's one great team
right.
that you can say will run away with it.
Hampton graduated
A lot
some
of
guys
players.
after winning the MEAC for a second consecutive year.
31 made the tackle.
As we
Devin
got
Morgan's a
another
guy I'm excited to see.
Morgan, Waller
Morgan.
plays well.
Yeah, Waller was big time last night.
Haywoods last year. It's going to be some good, interesting games. You know how those MEAC basketball games work. Always fun to watch. And Lady Hornets as well. Let's see what they do. Had a very good year last year with under first year coach Barbara Burgess, as we get a 1st and 10 for the Aggies under first year coach Barbara Burgess. But let's see what they do. Got a nice core. I think only will get better from here.
Yeah, they were pretty much the same as the men's team. Najee Pollard, she's a big time performer. MEAC first team all MEAC and was the rookie of the year in the MEAC. So she a big time performer. She's going to step up for the Lady Hornets. And so yeah, I'm excited for basketball season and to watch our guys and girls play. I think we're in for a pretty good season on both ends for the men and women for the basketball teams.
Exactly, and you get into that MEAC tournament with some sort of momentum and you're healthy. Anything can happen.
Yep, and a one bid conference. The MEAC is pretty much every year. It's a one bid league. Excuse me, and of course both the men and women going to be looking to get that one bid, and everything in the regular season leads to that conference tournament, and it's a fun and exciting time here, trying to get your team into the dance.
Well, victory formation for the Aggies. They'll run one more play before the end of this game, but like I said, Chris, seen a lot from this team. We talked a little about what we're looking for going into Howard and then the next season. I guess last thoughts, kind of wrapping it up as we get ready to.
Yep. Well, we're going to see from this Hornet football team just how hungry they are next week. Last year against Howard, they were very, very hungry. Yeah, I'm sure you remember they were determined to get that win, and they were able to come away with it, an emotional win. They're going to have that opportunity again next week against Howard, and then, of course, leading into next season, another recruiting class coming in for Coach Carter and the 48 freshmen this year will be sophomores next year, and will have taken their experience, taken their lumps, and some sophomores, Bryce and Aline. We'll see, most importantly, how they address the quarterback position. But good season here at WDSU-TV. Take us home, Byron.
Well, Chris, always great to be with you. Shout out to all the crew. We'll be back with some basketball in the next few weeks. For today's game, Hornets take a tough loss, play tough, but you see the disparity of talent. Young team, 48 freshmen. Keep an eye on recruiting and some players that they bring in for Coach Carter. Hornets lose 45-14. This Aggies team, you may see them in a few weeks in the Celebration Bowl on national TV. Keep that in the back of your mind. Tariq Cohen, you may have just seen the future NFL player as well right in front of your eyes with his playmaking ability. Hornets lose. For Chris Maul, I'm Byron Dixon. To all the crew, thank you for watching. Have a great night.